I feel violated.
I am violated.
I told you not to download it.
It was literally just a file with coconut.
You were warned.
What I miss?
Welcome
I
to the
just
party,
wanted
Gear.
snacks.
Did you bring some for the rest of us? Should we, though? Fuck it. We'll do it live. Yay! Woo!
Yay! Series of unfortunate events.
Mm-hmm. Geared, go first.
Wait, what? Why?
Do it.
Me?
Shut
I'm
up and chill.
confused.
Wait. Don't do the first one. Do the second one.
I was confused.
Promote thyself.
You can find me at twitch.tv/thegearedgolem. I play games. And I might play with games with Zed every so often because he has reasons. We have fun. And I make puns. Lots and lots of puns. Hey. Blake.
Why?
Oh.
I don't do anything. You can't find me anywhere except here on Sundays at Wolfsbane 1025 for D&D shenanigans. That's it. Luke, you go.
I'd like to point out that, like, you know, the Mystery Machine gang, like, would go out to small towns in nowhere America where there was no internet back then, and, like, Scooby could just talk. People were okay with it. Like, Scooby would just ask a sheriff some question, and the sheriff would be like, well, you know, Scoob.
Because everyone was on drugs.
Everyone. Popcorn you, Zach.
I have to say that that music kicked in at the perfect time during Luke's conversation.
Yeah.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Zaiden101. I'm still trying to get myself established after all this time. Yeah. Brent Zed, you go.
He is muted.
Did Zed die?
Is he aware that he is muted?
Is he
Probably
really
not.
alive?
You can find him at twitch.tv
No, I
slash
got it. I got it.
Zedimus.
Thank you.
Hi, they call me Zed, but you can call me Daddy, and Daddy can be found over at twitch.tv/Zedimus. Many, many games are played, none of which are consecutive due to my horrible ADHD and amazingly terrible attention span.
Anyway,
That
There
was
you go.
just a mess.
you're a mess.
Thanks.
I had it better the first time through, but I was muted.
Oh,
Mhm.
Okay, I'm holding you to that.
Don't hold,
You
I
have to
don't want
finish
you
the
to hold you
popcorn.
to anything.
Hold me to a flame. Let me up.
Mhm.
Brent,
Right.
you have to finish the popcorn.
Okay, the music is too loud, dude. I'm sorry. It's not.
Mm.
Luke, did you say fish popcorn?
I said, Brent, you have to finish the popcorn.
Oh.
Oh. And that leaves you with Wolfsbane 1025. It's your turn.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand. I was like, I'm not munching popcorn.
For some
Oh.
reason, why is? God damn it!
You can find him having technical difficulties here at twitch.tv/Wolfsbane.
Yeah.
Nah.
Why? Yeah. Is that better?
Mike, what did you play the music through yesterday?
Through Roll20.
Maybe we should try doing it through Roll20.
What, the music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this music was just for starting up. I've got more music on Roll20 that I'm going to be using.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so one of the things I've been working on is getting that all onto there. No, one of the
Okay.
problems I was having here was that OBS had reset my audio input to not pick up my actual microphone, and I was picking up the microphone that is no longer connected to my computer. But I can turn that off now.
How do I minimize people's icons? Or not icons, but like the toolbar?
In the top right hand corner of Roll20, it should come up as
So you go into the settings, the little gearbox bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe
Audio video. And it should say
Yes.
this video display, and you change it to player video avatar size.
So hold on, slow down. So
Yeah, I got it. I found it. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
okay.
all
Woot.
right. Anyone have anything else we need to say?
Lead. I'm good.
I would like to suggest disadvantage on his three next rolls.
No.
Eat it, Fire Nation. That is all.
He
Hey.
asked. I said.
All right. Well, while I put chat away, does anyone want to recap what happened last session? Brent, sounds like you want to go.
Oh god, it's been so long.
We'll do it together.
I believe I remember more of the back half.
So
Okay.
we all kind of went off and did our own thing while we were in Umashu? Are we in Umashu right now?
Bossing say.
Or are we in Bossing Say? Yeah, right. We're in Bossing Say. We went off and kind of did our own thing. We we first went with Gia to the library. She wanted to go look for something, and then we split off because she went in there.
That's the back half of it.
I don't remember the first half of it.
You guys went to the
You
spa.
forgot the spa.
We went
Oh.
to the spa, right? Shang had a
After-
It's
you
such
have
a
forgotten
heavenly
the spa.
experience.
After leaving Renzu outside to drink his tea, we all had a wondrous spa day. Well,
I think it's fair that I forgot the spa.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
we paid an arm and a leg, but left feeling like gods and goddesses. We then made our
Well,
way over to.
Some of you did.
Well, yeah, made our way over to. Well, some of us dropped off at the library to look up as much information as we could on spirits, and the others essentially wandered through town, only to come across some people who had their items stolen and didn't notice until just then. After rolling relatively well, Brutus notices that a vial of his is gone, and Shang, if I'm remembering correctly, noticed a blur starting to dart away from us. We followed it and found out that they were Quicklings, little
Yeah.
spirits that are.
High speed chase through the city on top of the good girl.
Yes.
And then afterwards, we managed to dispatch one and capture the other, and it's been sitting right in my pocket for these last 2 months.
And Gia met with some dude in the library. Talked about some stuff. I don't remember what his name was or what they talked about.
A place where we could maybe find out more mysterious bending and exotic techniques.
Ah, the library.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, come on now.
And there might be something up with the Daily, but who knows?
Oh, and the Dai Li have been following us.
Yep.
So we've had to keep everything hush hush. Are we going
But-
to the Washi Tongue Library?
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll find out during the
This
session.
time on Avatar.
One
Avatar
of you,
Z.
Luke or Brent, or not Luke, Mike or Brent, roll me a d6.
I will do this.
Just one of us.
Just one of you.
That's a 5.
All right. One second. Where are my notes? Okay, so since both of you did it, you each get 2 rerolls, and then 1 reroll to give to someone else.
2 rerolls a piece?
2
Or one
rerolls
reroll.
apiece,
Okay.
and one to give to someone else at your discretion.
So we have 3, and one of them is not usable for us.
No, you both have 2,
Oh, okay.
and one's for someone else at your guys' discretion.
Cool.
Okay.
We'll find a way to make that work.
Hopefully I remember.
I'll put it in my inventory.
Okay.
Just
Now, before we get started, I do have to ask about the Quickling. How do you guys have him restrained?
Can I ask
tied
where
up,
we are
isn't he?
first?
I will get to that in a second.
Okay.
Do you guys?
Pretty sure we
Uh,
just tied him up and stuffed him in Brutus's pocket.
Okay. Well, so as you guys said, you guys went to the spa, and most of you had a lovely time. One of you was so uncomfortable and clenched up that he kind of walked out of there a little worse than he did when he came in.
Yep.
I had
Renzu-
someone basically beat the hell out of me and it massaged my back.
Yeah. That spot on your shoulder where you took where you oh wait, no, it was Shang that took the axe, wasn't it?
Why do you think Brutus doesn't use the axe anymore? Like, I have not used it since that moment.
Fair point. Rinzu saw Daily here and there. During the time you guys were either on your way there or on your way back, Brutus did lose 2 of his vials. One of them was found later on. Gia, Rinzu, and Pri went to the Boston State Library where they met Lee, who is doing research into some sort of building library, possibly out in the desert. During that time, Brutus and Shang had as you put it, a high-speed chase in the back alleys of Ba Sing Se, on the back of Naga, Gia's massive polar bear dog. Fought 2 quicklings, took care of one of them, captured the second one. Got some other items returned. If I'm looking at my notes correctly, Shang, you recovered your guys' money, and Brutus, you recovered your green vial. Your red vial is still the one that's missing.
I'm gonna pop this thing's head off. I swear to God.
You all met back up at the library, where more Daily were wandering around, like in and out of eyesight, while you guys regaled the tale of the chase. You guys made your way back to the train heading to the household of Willow and Captain Doros, and keeping your conversation as hushed and quiet as possible, you guys have made your way back to their house and are now standing in the middle of what we would consider as their living room, together as a group. And that is where we're gonna start off tonight's session. Okay, one moment to start up. This one.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Fitting.
And some of the music that I've got tonight, we can actually thank one of our close friends, Dietrich. He's given me permission to use some of his music for our sessions.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dude, your stuff is amazing. We appreciate the hell out of you. I love you, D. You're awesome.
All right, so yeah, you guys find yourselves in the middle of Willow and Doris's living room. Doris is not there, but Willow's just out of eyesight. But in the distance, you guys hear a massive boom coming from what you guys can assume to be the kitchen.
Willow, are you okay?
She kind of stumbled up. yeah, just testing something out.
What are you using? Wait, would I know what gunpowder is, or is it like called black powder in this? Is it even a thing yet?
Black powder is most of the time they used blasting jelly, I think is what they call it.
Okay.
Are you trying to make some sort of blasting jelly sandwich in there?
No. You guys had got me some vials from that from a sea serpent. I'm trying to make stuff.
Oh.
And she comes out and she looks like the explosion was kind of close to her. It wasn't like a big explosion. It was kind of one of those explosions where like the radius is only like a matter of like a foot or so, but it just blasts up a giant plume of black smoke.
Just enough to be comical.
Yes.
By the avatars, Miss Willow, and I'm gonna rush over and just do the medic thing, clean her up a little bit with water.
All right, you do so. She's kind of cleaned up. Sorry. Let me. I gotta go put this out before it gets too bad. And she steps back into the kitchen, and you can hear her kind of moving things around and shuffling. Above game, who's got? Is it Brutus has got the Quickling?
Yes.
Okay. As far as I know, above game as your DM, he's still in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check on him every now and again just to make sure he's not coming loose from the restraints.
Okay. Roll me a investigation.
Just don't fart.
Or do.
Are you fucking with me? That's a 2. I need to turn off these dice. Sorry, give me a second. It's lagging behind.
Do a thing.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, it's a 2.
I mean,
Do the thing.
Do what thing?
no,
Do the thing.
nothing. His nods still look like they're where they're at and should be. As far as you know, this is exactly how he's been the entire time.
I'll close the pocket and kind of just look at everyone else. Just kind of listen into what they're saying.
Well, several minutes pass by, and Willow steps out, and she's got what looks to be like a tray of like teas and like biscuit kind of stuff, biscuit things. Sorry about that earlier. Here's some food. How was your guys' day?
We haven't told her about the
You guys
The
haven't said
Quickling.
anything to her. You guys kind of came in, and that's where you're at.
I look over to
really told.
Oh.
You haven't really told us either. Like, you just kind of rushed the library crew back to the house.
I look over to Shing. I guess now's the best time, huh?
Yeah.
I reach into my pocket and I will pull out the Quickling.
Okay, you pull him out. He's kind of squirming about as much as he can. I mean, like he is restrained, but he's doing like the shuffling of the shoulders, like back and forth.
Yeah. So when we stepped away from you and went back into town, we noticed some people freaking out that they had something stolen from them, but couldn't figure out who or where it had gone off to.
And we got our stuff taken.
Yeah, one of my vials is still missing.
They took our money, but we managed to get it back.
Yeah, we were able to dispatch of one of them. And, well, we're trying to get some information out of this one. So I would know it's a spirit at this point, right? Or I can't remember if I had to roll for that.
I don't think you rolled for it. I think the only one that I think Mike picked up on it above game.
Ah, okay.
So if you want to roll me Arcana, you can check.
Oh man, what's that negative or what's that -1 gonna do for me? Oh, that's a 10.
Well, you're certain that you've never seen it, but You also haven't explored the entirety of the continent, so it could just be one of those creatures that you haven't encountered.
Hmm.
But it's got a humanoid figure, so it's a little odd. But who knows?
Should I roll for it,
You
or
can.
is it something that Shang knows?
I'll let you roll with advantage, just because you've been traveling around a little more than everyone else.
Gotcha. Same roll.
Wow.
Okay. Well, yeah. But, sucks.
Yeah. So you'd get the same information.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is, but I haven't been across the continent, so I don't know.
Yeah. I've never
Why
come
did
across anything like this, guys. So.
why did you tie it up and stuff it in your pocket? Like it's just a thief, right?
Well, the weird thing is, it can talk. Only problem is it speaks a language I don't understand.
Well, and it talks really fast.
Really fast?
That
No,
no, Zach,
no.
it's not
You-
gonna work. It does
if-
not
if-
sound right.
If we were playing an or a sci-fi kind of, we would go for it. But
Hey.
Hmm. You get points
Oh.
for trying, though.
yeah. But what did Pri say?
Really fast?
Go ahead. He holds it up to Pri. Ask it something.
Who are you?
I hope that came through correctly.
They didn't sound like that earlier, I promise.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can't understand a word that thing is saying.
Gosh, wish there was a way we could slow them down.
Rinzu, give me a knowledge, intelligence check, or a medicine check.
Medicine. 23.
All right, so you've heard of the air nomads using different types of teas to help ail things or kind of ease someone's mind. With a 23, for needing to slow things down, they usually use chamomile.
Renzo will state that and then go start looking for some tea to make.
Huh. Fancy that. Tea's gonna save the day.
I'll come with you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the fucking thing, or the quick thing.
Willow will come with you guys. Give me Rinzu, because you actually know what chamomile would look like. Give me a investigation with advantage.
Yes, a 5.
Mhm.
Okay, hang on.
I see a trend for tonight.
Well, with it being a kitchen that you're not familiar with, you look in one cupboard, you're not finding things except for like the odd cup here and there, or like the odd plate.
Sorry.
The kitchen does still have some like black char here and there from what you can assume is that small explosion that happened like moments ago. But as you're looking through, Willow comes up behind you and here, this is what you're looking for. And she hands you a small pouch of chamomile tea.
Yes, I take it.
Okay. It's not a lot. It's only one serving worth of tea.
Must not waste it.
Miss Willow, while we're
No,
here, can I
tea's
get some
on.
water?
Yes, and she pulls over a crap. What the hell? Like a not a bucket, but like a no. I guess it would be like a bucket, like a water bucket.
Fantastic. That's exactly how much I need.
Can Gia boil water without needing a cup? Rinzu's always want to try a cupless tea.
I think so.
Where would you put the water to boil it?
Water bend it, boils it, and then you put the tea bag and it floats inside of it.
I mean, I guess if I really concentrated, maybe with like an Arcana check or something. I don't think we're gonna do that right now.
I mean, Shang can just hold it, and then it'll, boil.
But it wouldn't be
Because fire.
cupless.
Also, he's trying his best to hide the fact that he can use fire.
Yeah, but I mean, he can subtly make it start to sizzle. a little bit.
Not with one serving, so I won't waste it.
I was gonna say,
Anyway.
do you not remember Avatar with Iroh and Jet?
Yeah.
Anyway, I can, yes, boil water without a fire. So, like, if that's something you need, I guess.
Okay.
I will boil that kettle.
We make the tea.
All right. So you
And then
got.
force the Quickling to drink it. I need a funnel.
All right. So you're forcing the Quickling to drink the tea.
I'm going to-
offer to him first, and if he refuses, I'll be holding a funnel.
I'm
Well,
going to
offering it
push
to him?
away the funnel, and I'm just gonna say, grab a spoon. It's small. You're gonna drown it.
So first, Rinzu, roll me a persuasion, with disadvantage, because actually no, it'll be a flat one, flat roll.
$18.
Damn.
Okay. He doesn't really put up too much of a fight. He rolled a nat 1 on his and he gives up fairly quickly, and he just opens up his mouth a little bit. He is rather small, so getting it into his mouth is a little bit of a chore. You gotta go kind of slowly. But it does finally take, and after a few minutes, it starts to slow down. As you guys have been watching it, like the eyes were going back and forth, darting up and down, head kind of bobbing while this is happening. He goes from a squirrel high on cocaine to a very inquisitive child.
Those are different?
Yes.
All right, that got me. Good job.
Not by much.
Interrogate away.
All
Who
right.
do you work for?
Jesus.
He worked for Jesus?
Uh.
Who is this Jesus?
Oh Jesus.
That's what he was
So-
asking.
Brutus will just look down. Where did you take all of our stuff?
How should I know? I'm not gonna take it.
You and the other one weren't working together?
What other one?
Insight.
The one that we killed.
You killed one?
Intimidation?
Brutus rolled insight.
11?
He seems to be a very one-track mind.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna lean over to Renzu. That's a really good point. How do you kill a spirit?
How do you know it's a spirit?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I was like, hang
Wait,
on a
didn't you
second.
s-
No, all I said was, or the only information I got out of it was I haven't trekked through all of the Earth Kingdom. You know, I don't know what's out there.
Ignore me.
Why are you running around stealing?
We're cleaning.
I did not understand that.
We're cleaning.
Cleaning. What? Like Brutus stops himself. Cleaning for what?
He starts looking around.
Everything. Cleaning everything.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what you want from me.
How do you justify stealing people's stuff as cleaning? It doesn't.
If you want to get out of this, you're gonna need to learn to work with us.
Can I insight him real quick?
Please do.
See
This is
what
going
he
in
means
circles.
see what he means by cleaning?
Sure.
Because I think I know.
That's a
13.
13. Okay. What exactly are you trying to get out of this?
He means like, like clean his shop, fishing. Like they just basically sweeping up the town and like just hitting as many things as they can to like just build riches, It's like a thieves guild type of thing.
Okay. So with that insight, you don't get your mind goes along those routes, but not so much of a thieves guild kind of thing, but more of oh crap, you're not getting thieves guild, but you are getting the sense that they're supposed to be like the people behind the scenes that clean up the cities and kind of keep things kind of tidy. Now, as far as what exactly that's gonna mean, you're not 100% sure.
I just kind of look over at like Brutus and Shang. It's this weird pickpockety jive. He means they're cleaning up shop, right? They're taking stuff from people.
That makes no sense.
I don't know.
Listen, we clean you too, but you somehow find a way back.
Where does everything you take end up?
I don't know. I'm not the one to take it.
Well, where does your
I
stuff
gave you-
end up if you take it?
It goes to the city.
Where?
I don't know. I found a hole, put it there. Cover the hole up and leave. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't.
I hate this thing. I fucking hate this thing. Mike, if you throw... I was going to say, Mike, in your campaign, if you throw Quicklings at me, they're just going to die and that's it. There's no talking.
And I'll let you kill them.
Just a whole campaign of Quickling stomping.
Listen, until recently, you weren't even supposed to see us.
Well, here's a question. Why can we see you?
The house that I know, an earthquake happened and we were seen.
None of this makes sense.
If anyone wants to make a history check, you can.
Please. Please give me an out.
Okay.
Fuck.
Well, so the DC isn't high for that one. The last earthquake that happened, you guys, every single one of you felt.
Yeah. The global earthquake.
Yes.
The earthquake. A lot of, I would assume, spirits were released because of it.
Yeah, we weren't released. We were just seen.
So you were already here.
I mean, I was.
So you're a spirit then.
Sure.
Yes! Well, that makes a lot more sense. You know what? Wait, we haven't seen Victor or Krug since we got in, right?
No. Last time you saw them, they were on the ship.
What are the odds we can get back to the ship with this thing?
What are the odds we can even get out of the city again?
Oh yeah, and the fact that the wait, do we know them? I know them as the Dai Li, right?
Yes.
Oh, right. And we have the Dai Li watching us.
Actually, I think all of you would know them as Daily at this point.
Oh, why did life have to get so complicated?
These guys are very secretive, very focused.
They seem to be watching us from every corner.
Listen, you seem to have a lot on your mind. Can I go back to work?
No.
I fucking hate this thing, but I love it.
Only if you promise to stop cleaning.
That's what I'm here for.
Well, stop it.
I can't?
At least
With that attitude.
At least stop stealing valuable stuff and actually clean up like less valuable things that are in the way of others.
Listen, as far as I know, everything that you guys have is all less valuable than what I know of.
Pre looks at the Quickling, then at the others. It's like, what?
Maybe we should head back out and... Oh, sorry.
Is that too much? Sorry. Don't mind me.
Wait, what did he just say?
He said too much, don't mind me.
No, before that. He said... What was that about valuable as anything I know?
Everything that you've got is less valuable than I know of.
So basically
is-
everything's
what-
the same price.
I was gonna say, what has high value to you?
Nothing you have.
What
Oh, wait.
would... Say I did have it. What would it be?
things from not this world.
Wait,
Immediately, Brutus just looks down at the vial that's missing. What did Grandma or Grammy give me?
I don't know. What was it?
Drugs.
Yeah, Brutus is just looking down at his pouch. There were 3 different colored vials. One of the others that were with you grabbed it and ran off.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at the others. Do you think maybe we should go back into town and have a better look around now that there's more of us?
I mean, I don't mind.
Well, what are we gonna do with this guy?
I don't know. He's kind of starting to annoy me.
we should probably let him go so he can tell his friends not to mess with us anymore.
What about Birdcage?
He's seen what we're capable of. He knows what we can do to him.
Hey, little guy.
Huh? What? Yeah. What?
What do you know about Co?
Co.
Guy's an asshole.
It sounded like you started to rap or something.
Who wants to know?
Me, I'm in front of you. Hello?
I'm just gonna go ahead and put the bucket of water on the table.
Oh no.
You're in for it now, buddy. We should all back away simultaneously.
Do it.
I'm currently holding it.
Intimidation with advantage.
I'm currently.
Everyone
Wait, I got
but Brutus.
I'm gonna choose. I know that's probably not directed towards me, but I'm gonna take that as directed towards me and choose to fail. And you just see Brutus eyes open, and he kind of just what is it? Kind of gives Gia the Quickling. He's just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's
no,
the-
not
No,
again.
no. Fine. What do you want to know?
Oh, more cooperative? Okay. You heard my question, right?
Yeah, what do I know about Co? What do you want to know about him?
Let's start with your opinion, your feelings on the guy. Honest opinion.
Look, I don't know personally, but from what I've heard, he's not a great guy.
Okay. So far, so good.
He has an army. We tend to stay away from him. He fought my master a while ago, and yeah.
Oh, you have a master now.
Shit.
Just grin at him.
Kind of. Haven't seen him in I don't know how long anymore.
You don't ever kind of have a master. It's kind of a yes or no thing. I'm going to take the Quickling. I'm going to hold him above the bucket of water.
Listen, okay, sir, listen. Here, listen here. We haven't seen him in a while, okay? So we don't know if he's actually in charge or not anymore.
Slowly dip him towards the water.
Okay, fine. He used to roll over the city. Oh God, don't put me in this water. You went missing?
Do you not like water?
I just don't want to know what you're gonna do with it. Just keep me away from it.
Okay. So you were saying you had a master, but he used to roll over this city. Did something happen to him?
He didn't. He didn't necessarily rule over the city. He was the city.
I don't understand. I've got to look over at the guys. Am I missing something? Can a city be a person? I only know the one.
Can I roll an Arcana?
Sure. What are you rolling on Arcana for?
Essentially, maybe it's supposed to be something of a guardian. Like, okay, above game. This is what I'm thinking. That this, like, a spirit somehow took up guarding the city to some degree, and the Quicklings are literally here taking care of the city, as to not maybe corrupt or just screw up the guardian.
Okay.
That's my thought process.
You could roll me a flat Arcana, or you could roll me a History with disadvantage.
Oh, shit, so you're telling me to... Oh, shit, no Arcana then. No, it's a no-brainer. 14.
Okay.
I would have given myself far more of a debuff to that roll otherwise.
Okay, so from what you've seen, you guys you haven't fought any specifically, but when that earthquake happened, you saw spirits of all shapes and sizes. It's very possible that one of them was the quote unquote guardian of Ba Sing Se, or whatever part of Ba Sing Se that he might be referring to. Actually, roll me that history as well. Just roll a flat history. See if you cut.
Fuck
Okay.
me running. That's an 8.
I rolled a.
Hmm?
You want me to roll history as well, or was that just for Brent?
If you want to roll a history, because I know that you're also you're studied, go ahead.
Your studious nature.
I'm just gonna take the Quickling. You're not in trouble yet. I'm just gonna preemptively dunk you. Okay, just
Thank you,
I'm just
Zach.
gonna
The
dunk
flaccid
Quickling.
20.
Okay, so
Not a nat 20, just a flaccid.
okay, so there were creatures, massive creatures that throughout history have been cited less and less. The people of this world would have known them as lion turtles. If he's talking about one of those, then possibly a part of the city is hiding one. If he's talking about something else, it could be that the lion turtle was here, or it could be someone posing as a lion turtle.
How do you pose as a lion turtle?
These things don't seem exactly smart.
Uh-oh. Discord's acting up on me.
You good, Zach? Hello? Testing 1 2.
Yeah, I'm good now. Discord just had a kind of a memory fart. So I did not catch the entire thing of what you said, so I'm apologize for that.
Okay, so basically he's referring to a lion turtle. Now, if that's an actual lion turtle, or if it's someone posing as a lion turtle, you're not sure. With the size, with the size of a lion turtle, it could be that it could be hiding. If it is a real lion turtle, it could be hiding in Ba Sing Se. It could be part of Ba Sing Se. You're not 100% sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to think about how I was going to say what I was going to say.
All right.
So, if I'm putting this together right, your kind are supposed to perform a service of cleaning as a means to appease your master?
No, just make it look nice.
And you just take the stuff away, even if it's on someone's person?
Listen, it takes a lot of us to actually move a person. One of us can get away with the smaller stuff.
No, but I mean, like, if it's in people's pockets and stuff like that, like, there's plenty of things on the ground to take.
You still clean that up too?
I'm gonna insight this guy. There's no way this guy doesn't understand the concept of stealing.
Okay.
Maybe it's a little more primitive than that. Maybe they're just taking care of the land itself, and maybe we're the garbage.
Actually,
That's deep, man. 21?
Actually, Brutus said almost exactly how I was going to put it.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, let Luke. He got a 21 on that. Let him.
Yeah. Again, exactly how you put it too. The people are the trash, from what from how he's trying to put it.
That's rude.
And by taking their belongings, you're taking away their reason for being here, and they leave.
It's worked in the past.
Okay.
My
So
head
you're not-
hurts.
So you're not in league with Ko's army, you work for the city, and you have no idea what theft is.
No, we know what theft is, but we need to get rid of the trash first.
Okay. Do you guys understand right and wrong?
Yes?
What is that?
Okay. What is considered wrong to you? You guys feel bad about killing, right?
Meh.
Okay. What about hurting? You know, like you can't hurt each other?
Each
Is
other?
lying
No.
a bad one?
What was that second part?
Sorry, is lying a bad one?
If it gets things out of the way, no?
I'm just gonna glare at him. Okay. I'm going to do you a favor here. For the rest of my time here in the city, I'm going to help people understand that they need to help keep the city cleaner. In exchange, you are going to never take something off of a person again. And you're going to tell every other Quickling that before you can take stuff off of a moving person, they need to pick up every single piece of garbage. And if you do that, we'll maybe leave you, like, I don't know, treats or something. We'll probably make like a festival out of it. We'll figure it out.
By garbage, you mean stuff that's on the ground?
Exactly. Do you need me to point out what garbage is, like at what we consider garbage? Or do you think you can figure out that?
I don't care what you consider garbage. You guys are living on someone else. You're the garbage in our eyes.
I'm going to
That's
put
all
him
right.
in the I'm going to put him in the bucket of water. I'm going to hold him in the water for just long enough to get his hair wet, if you understand my meaning.
Okay. Roll me an intimidation with advantage.
Okay.
When did this turn into a... Jesus Christ.
21.
Insert Saw theme here. Just dun dun dun. Dun 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 Gia dun dun dun.
I'm glad that my
Dun, dun,
mind's
dun.
not the only one that went there.
Whoa. Hey, listen. Sorry. Okay, fine.
I'm then going to hold his head out of the water, and then I'm just going to go ahead and freeze that bucket of water around him.
You're freezing the bucket of water around him.
Yep, I'm making a Quickling popsicle.
Are you leaving his head out, or like from like the shoulders down, or like
Yeah. Like I want him to be like stuck in the ice with his head out.
All right, 1 second. Okay. Wow. Okay, they do not have a good stat for that. All right, so you have a Quickling popsicle.
Okay. So did you understand what I said the first time, or do you need me to repeat it?
If you could repeat it.
So, to the Quickling, I'm saying this. So, you're not going to steal things off of moving people anymore, or out of their houses. You're only going to steal stuff in the open street. And then when you run out of stuff on the street, you can go on somewhere else. Okay?
Fine.
And you're going to tell all your friends to not do that either.
Okay.
Give him a good flick on the forehead.
You'll just
Okay.
he'll look over. What is it? The Quickling will look over to Brutus at some point, and he just has this like wide, like 1,000-yard stare, and he just goes, "You don't know what she's capable of. I would listen to her."
I'm going to lean in real close to him. And if I find out that you or your little friends are stealing from people again, I'm going to go ahead and do this to them. And you're going to find out for about an hour what this is like. And I'm going to take the Quickling popsicle out of the bucket. And I am going to go set him on the front door. On my way out, and be like, oh, are we done here?
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, you were asking us. I thought you were looking at him.
Yeah.
Oh. Fuck.
No, you're good.
I know. I know. I'm just like, yeah, don't hassle me, bro. I'm sorry.
We good here, guys? We done with the Quickling?
If that's all the information you think we need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to go set him on the porch.
Okay, so you are setting the Quickling popsicle on the porch. Okay.
Yep.
All right. 1 second. I gotta write that down.
We should probably warn Willow. She's gonna
She's
go out
been in
there.
the room, right?
He's riding. Oh,
She's been kind of back and forth between like the door to the room to the kitchen. She's still in and out of the kitchen with well, actually you guys don't know what she's doing in there.
Willow saw me put the bucket on the table. It's like, oh lord, and just walked out.
Mm-hmm.
well, okay. I guess.
Nope.
I guess she knows who Victor and Krug are, correct?
Yes, she's been on the ship.
Okay. Well, then she probably wouldn't be as freaked out. She'd just be like, "Oh, another one of them. Oh, good. This can only bode well."
Oh, I have something to clean. All right.
All right. So you set the Quickling on to clean the streets. That's gonna get interesting. Okay.
So we don't know where your stuff is because he doesn't know where your stuff is, but the city is a person.
What we gathered. It's a being of some sort.
Claiming to be a lion turtle?
Ooh, okay.
It's a lion turtle.
It's a lion turtle.
Could I?
Body of
What
a
would
turtle, head of a lion. We
They're really big.
don't know how big it is, but can only assume.
It would.
So like bigger
They're
than
the
a
size
bulldog.
of. They're the size of islands.
So what you're saying is it's about the size of Bossing Say.
Yes, they could be.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Bree's head just kind of turns slightly.
Can't even imagine
For
what the
everybody.
Fire Nation would do if they got their hands on those.
God, that sounds almost as big as a megalosquid.
We are not going to talk about a sharktopus. You fuck. That movie was terrible.
Agreed.
I've known you long enough. I'm sick of your shit.
Well, for clarification, time-wise, it's probably pushing like 8-ish at this point. 8, 9 o'clock.
Sun's starting to set.
Yeah. Well, the sun is set. It's at that point where like the last bit of light is creeping down. Okay.
Well,
You guys hear one more small explosion coming from the kitchen. Yes.
What's going on this time?
Sorry.
I'll peek my head in to see what she's doing.
Willow, are you okay in there?
I'm good. Don't. I'm fine.
I imagine we're all doing Scooby-Doo head. Just doo 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 doo.
You guys look in, and like her hair is up on end. She's her face and like her almost like her whole front is just covered in like black smoke. She looks like an evil scientist that had an experiment gone wrong.
Row raggy.
What did you say?
Like Zoink Scoob.
Thank you.
Is that Fire Nation lingo?
Yeah, they're stupid.
No. I'm just gonna get back to the group. Just. So what's the plan then? I mean, my thought was returning to, and then he wiggles his fingers, the scene of the crime. Just having a better look around, and now that there's more eyes, we might find something.
Can I do an investigation as to what Willow's doing in the kitchen?
Sure. Investigation or Arcana?
$12.
Investigation. All right. So she's got kind of like a mortar and pestle in front of her, and next to her there's the vials of I think we got them as serpent blood, ones that Gia had gotten for her a few sessions ago.
Oh yeah, the oil,
Yeah,
the E-core.
and random assortment of ingredients next to that as well.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if she's making tea?
Sure.
6.
If it's tea, it's not any tea that you recognize.
Interesting. I'm done.
Lean into Brutus. Is Earth Nation cooking always this dangerous?
I mean, it can be.
Wow. Guys are hardcore.
Soft 20 on deception.
Chia roll an insight?
Nah, I'll willingly fail.
Okay.
I choose to believe that Brutus eats bombs for breakfast.
Bombios, part of a nutritious and explosive breakfast. C4 frosted flakes.
Alright. Well, so as the night passes on, you guys get dinner, eat up, and head to bed. Yes? No? You get...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, that was way
No-
too weird.
No
Night,
need to
everybody.
set a-
Oh, sorry.
no need to set up like a night watch or anything, right?
No.
It's where, yeah.
Alright. So...
Quick question.
Yes.
Where we are, where is like Naga? Like, is she in the house? Does she have to stay out?
She can get in. It's a little bit of a squeeze through the doors. If not, there's like an area in the back of the house. It's like a small garden-esque kind of situation. And there's like an overhang that she could lay under.
Wherever she's sleeping, I'm gonna go ahead and just like snuggle up into her.
Okay. So yeah, she's out outside. She's like right up against the window, so she can still hear everything, but she's under an overhang.
Yep.
The weather here doesn't really change too drastically when it goes from night to day or day to night. So you're going from like maybe 70-degree weather to like 68-degree weather. And as the night passes on, the following morning, you guys all wake up to Willow. Hang on. Copy that. To Willow coming out with some teas and oh crap, what the hell are these called? It's like a breakfast burrito, but it's like almost like a sushi-esque breakfast burrito.
Is there a name
yes.
for this dish?
If there is, I will have to try and find it. I don't. It's from the Avatar cookbook that I got, and I don't know the name off the top of my head.
Huevos Granados. Extra explosions.
Willow comes in, place the plate down. Here you go, everyone. I hope you got some good sleep. Your little friend is no longer there. Don't know when he left at night, but there's a There's a puddle of water where he was at. Do you guys know what's up with that?
The bucket.
I'll let G explain that part. Just check your house. Make sure none of your valuables have been taken.
Okay.
It's just a precaution. I think what Gia said to him stuck with him, but just check.
Okay. She heads out of the room and does a quick cursory glance over all the rooms and checks outside again.
And Brutus will take a piece of the this wonderful burrito.
Okay.
Part of an explosive breakfast. He looks over to Gia. He mid bite looks over to Gia, looks back, and just starts chomping into it.
Gia just has like big old anime stars in her eyes. Whoa. Just gingerly lifts a bite to her mouth. Cut scene.
A few moments.
Wait, Gia, watch out! You gotta dip it in the sauce.
Shang will sit down with his burrito and kind of lean into everybody. I was thinking last night that if there's something this crazy, this huge going on underneath the city, there's no way the Daily don't know about it.
Do you think they're kind of twisting things into their own?
Talk amongst you. I'll be right back.
Okay.
They have to be.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's too early in the morning. Remind me who the Daily are.
The Daily are the special, basically Black Ops agents. Actually, I don't know if he would know the phrase Black Ops. They're kind of like a shadow police. Guard? Shadow guard? I'm trying to stay within the world and the time.
Well, you'd probably know the word like commando.
They're part of they provide the service of the city from behind the scenes.
Oh my god. We have to worry about the Earth Nation army and its secret guards. I have to worry about the Fire Nation, Spirit War. I can't keep up with all the factions, guys.
I'm back.
I basically
hate
just
to say
explained.
it, but I think
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Fire Nation is involved in all of this too.
Of course they are. Just shoves burrito in face.
Sauce is good, isn't it? Oh my god!
As you guys are having this conversation, Willow comes back in. There was a note on the door. And it was addressed to you. Who wants it?
Addressed to who?
I'll take it.
I was muted. I said I would take it, but you know what? It's better that Shang takes it.
Can Brutus read it?
I'm not dumb. I can
sorry.
read.
Mike, I sent it to you in Discord.
To the guest of Captain Willow and Captain Doris, by order of the Earth Nation King, you are hereby summoned to the palace by noon today. Failure to comply will result in disciplinary action. Wow, that's rude. Don't even know us.
On the other hand, I think if we did fail to show up before a king, I think he could be offended. You know, kings are usually assholes. They're like advanced grown-ups.
Or
Is
advanced children.
Is it addressed to? Didn't they say only Doros and Willow, or is it everybody?
Said to the guests of them, which is us.
Are we sure we're the only
Okay.
ones here?
Well, looks like we have a place to be. We should, probably not tarry too long.
Well, I kind of want to know
Agreed.
what they think disciplinary action is.
What time is it right now? Just out of curiosity.
It'd probably be like 9-ish.
Okay.
But you guys have been on the train a few times, so getting to the library took like 45 minutes. The palace is the next stop up, so you're probably looking about like an hour journey on the train.
Do we have time to get nicer clothes?
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably.
Do we
Right,
need
so-
nicer clothes?
I don't know. Depends on how you want to do this.
Hobo it is.
I'm just gonna wear my Water Nation healer's clothes. Seems appropriate.
All I have is my commoners, and something tells me Shang can't wear anything nice for reasons.
What's that supposed to mean?
Your what is it? Fire Nation garb.
Or
I
do you
don't
not
have any
that?
Fire Nation card.
What about Carp?
I got rid of that when I died.
Lapse in my player's memory. Forgive.
Though that does bring up an interesting question. What exactly is our story for you, just so I have it straight?
I'm just a normal person traveling with you.
Okay.
I mean, you could say you're my cousin. We don't look too much alike, but
We look nothing.
hey, I don't look like my cousins.
I guess. Sure, let's go with that.
Yay, I've never had a cousin before. No, I'm kidding.
You
Should
look
I-
like my cousin.
Should I
I've
talk a
never had
little
cousins
deeper
before.
too?
Brutus just gives you a look like, cut the crap.
You're not. Everything else about you is fine the way it is.
So what time did you say it was?
Like 9-ish.
We don't have to be there until about high noon, so we already got our breakfast. Do we maybe just want to look around town a little bit? Or
Maybe
should we
being
just head
early
there
would be
and
a good
wait?
thing?
Huh?
Maybe being early would be a good thing.
Yeah, what am I thinking? I don't like the second part to that letter that they gave you, or gave us. Let's just head over.
So you guys are
Alright.
heading to the palace.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Um,
I'm
here it is.
taking
Here it is,
Naga
right.
with me.
You're taking Naga with you. Okay. One moment.
She's a guest.
That's what I'm saying.
Up.
Thank you, Brutus.
I look to both Priya and Gia, and I just say, I'm sorry.
Who's the best girl? Who's the best girl?
You know, Gia, she's really good in a high-speed chase. Her interrogation tactics could use some work, though.
Brutus looks
Flat.
back
Flash.
and goes,
Oh.
sorry.
I'll go for it.
Brutus looks back and he just goes,
That wouldn't have been interrogation. That would have been an execution.
I just give both of them the closed eye anime smile, like, oh well, I guess she's never needed them.
Flashback to Quickling in the jaws of Naga. Alright.
Oh, you should have brought Naga up in the interrogation.
Alright, right, so you guys take a little bit of time, get your clothes and everything on and ready to go, and you make your way to the train. Someone give me a perception check. This will just be like for general layout.
13. Oh,
Okay.
18.
let's go with Geards.
All right. So you guys get to the train. It's not there right on hand. It's probably gonna be there in a couple of minutes. But you guys look around, and there's people sitting. There's what looks to be like a bulletin board on one end. There looks to be like a map next to it. There are a few daily agents here and there. They don't really seem to be paying you guys much mind, along with a few.
They don't seem to be paying us much.
They don't seem to pay attention to you.
God,
They are. They totally are.
On the other side of what would be considered as the tracks, there seems to be like soldiers, like actual, like bossing say soldiers, not the Daily, but like military people. You could assume that they're probably heading out to either the docks or out to one of the other patrols. Yeah, a few more minutes pass by and the train shows up. 2-person train, this one, early in the morning. The 3-4-person train usually comes in later on in the day. You guys board the train and make your way to the palace. About an hour passes by, and you guys make it to the last stop. Leave the train, and you see the massive wall surrounding what you can assume is gonna be the king's palace.
whoa.
Far too rich for my taste.
Brutus is got his arms crossed. He's silent. He's just rapidly tapping his foot, or like shaking his leg while he's sitting.
Oh, be careful, that might earthbend.
Just
You see all the pebbles on the ground bouncing all over the place.
Party rock. Anyway, so yeah, he's nervous.
Okay.
Just lean into Pre. There's more stone and wood in this wall alone than our entire city.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Kind of amazing.
Well, excessive, don't you think? Maybe overcompensating?
Very.
Brutus stops shaking his leg and just gives you this look of, what the fuck?
Girl giggles to Priya. Prius.
You guys walk up to the palace, and there's a row of guards sitting there, kind of letting people through, turning people away. One guard turns to you and says, "Halt! What? Oh, hang on. Where did I put those notes? Son of a bitch." Okay, there's. Once the soldier turns to you and says, "Halt! What's the meaning of you coming to the palace today?"
We were summoned.
Let me see. And he reaches his hand out for the summons.
Did we bring the note?
Yeah, I assume I would still have it, unless someone took it from me.
Brutus would have eaten it. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone had to.
Right, so you pass him a note. He looks over it for a quick second and says, "All right, you can come through. Go down this pathway up the stairs into the main gate. You'll be escorted the rest of the way."
Thanks.
Next. I mean, gestures for the next people to come up. So, you guys head inside, make your way up the pathway, enter the palace. Where are we at? Okay. You go inside, and there's Diley agents everywhere. It looks like the shift in like city security and military has shifted from armed guards like that to Diley agents.
Under his breath, Brutus will just kind of, he'll just say, "Into the belly of the beast."
We're like out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Ah, I see what you did there.
You guys make your way inside, and one of the agents comes up to you. Can we help you?
We have an invitation. He'll let Sheng hand it to him.
Yep.
Okay, follow us. And the man turns, starts walking down a hallway. This is a fairly long hallway. How long would that be? You guys are walking for a few minutes. And as you're walking down the hallway, a man passes by you. What would that be? Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, my God. Someone roll me a... that'd be... history?
Hopefully
No.
someone who doesn't have a -1.
No, someone roll me a flat intelligence.
Intelligence?
Just basic intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume Pre has the highest intelligence.
14.
Okay. So he's not wearing any clothing that you guys would recognize. That you would recognize. He looks very, for lack of a better way of putting it, suave. Above game, this man is wearing a 3-piece suit.
What?
Yes.
Like American style?
Like
Or
European
English,
style,
like Western. Yeah.
Yeah, an English style 3-piece suit.
Brutus.
The hell is that?
Brutus sees it, and he immediately pictures himself in the suit.
Went down to Ba Sing Se. He was looking for a soul to steal.
He noticed you looking, dips his head a little bit, and continues walking.
Ah, I see you're interested in my suit. Looks kind of stupid. What is it? I say.
I think it looks snazzy.
Anyway, so the guy's gone.
I mean, he's still walking past, but yeah, he's starting to get out of range.
Wait, suave man, what is your name? No,
You want to
Teach
shout
me
that?
to be like you.
His name was Brutus.
I I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out here. This guy looks, for all intents and purposes, human.
Yes.
Huh.
For right now, Brutus is going to disregard it
Okay.
and just think to himself, that man looked really suave.
Well, seeing as how you guys have shown up a little early, you guys have a little bit of time before being allowed in. Is there anything you guys want to... Well, I'll leave the floor to you guys.
So, Chavez, first
Yes.
things first. Brutus, he's doing his best to hide it, but he is nervous as all hell. Would I be able to roll to remember the etiquette or custom of being seen by royalty or a leader? Is there a specific, maybe besides bowing, is there like a specific way to go about things as to not upset the court?
Huh.
Like, for instance, how do they feel about giant bears, dog things?
I was going to say, I'm not like trying to derail by any stretch. I'm just trying to, I guess, put on airs just to kind of keep everyone at bay.
God, what would that be? I almost want to say knowledge or intelligence, but
Is it probably history?
yeah. I also
Survival, because we might. No, I'm kidding.
I also
Oh, maybe persuasion.
I also kind of want to say charisma.
Yeah, I can just make a straight charisma check if you want.
Um.
Oh no, I would think that's more of like acting. I think history would
Yeah.
be the right one to do.
Yeah, let's go with that. Go ahead and roll a history.
That'll be a 15, Chief.
Okay. So yes, when entering in a room, when you're addressed, you usually give a bow, and you typically don't want to have your voice go too high, keeping the conversation as like calmly as possible is usually the best way to go. Getting straight to the point is recommended when addressing the higher authority of a city. Mumbling as little as possible and being as coherent as you can.
I was gonna say the mumbling part looks to Renzu. So Brutus will essentially tell them all this. He's gonna show them the way they bow and boss things say. He's going to. I think out of everyone, Shang kind of already has an idea, being of a higher standing, as it were. But he. For the sake of the explanation, but he's gonna.
Shang has a bad habit of speaking out against the ruler when he disagrees with them.
Then I will
trust
repeat.
Shang.
I will repeat everything twice to Shang. No. Yeah. Basically, bow when you enter. Keep the conversation, or the tone of the conversation as calm as you can, or the volume. I mean. And do your best to be respectful. And you, like I said, he's not trying to hide it. He is nervous as all hell right now. And that's all I wanted.
You go over that with your compatriots, and a few minutes pass by, and the daily come back to you. Okay, follow us. And they open up the door into this giant chamber. It looks like a ballroom with a giant high back chair in the back of it, with a couple they call it the giant mole statues on either side.
Oh, badger moles?
Yes, badger mole. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're standing there, you notice that the daily all back away, either into the shadows or out through the door. And nothing seems to happen.
Like, no one's doing
No one comes
anything?
in, no one other than the daily leaving, no one goes out, no one comes in. And then you hear a door off to the side open up, and this tall, skinny man who looks like he's half balding with black hair and a split mustache and a thin goatee comes in. And he's holding what looks to be a clipboard.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Sorry, continue.
And he gets to the center of the room. He doesn't sit in the chair, but he stands in front of it and he turns to you and he looks up. Roll me history checks, all of you.
Can doozy. Would I be able to roll with advantage considering?
Yes.
Conversely, can I forego this one?
Sure.
13.
I rolled a.
Can I get the
16.
advantage because I'm a soldier? Probably won't do much.
You know what? Yeah, I'll let it roll.
Okay.
You already did. Haha. Anyway. Yeah, so I got a 13. Damn. You know more about my town than I do, Zach.
You're from Omashu, not Boston Say.
I was gonna say I would think information would pass through, but I don't know. I'm not gonna push it. It took me a second.
Well, he continues to stare at the clipboard, looks up at you directly in the face, and we're gonna take a break there.
Oh, what fun!
Damn.
It is to ride.
Get one of those open sleigh.
With Morgan Freeman.
I can smell you.
That's horrifying.
What is?
I can smell you.
I can smell you.
I wanted that Alice voice to work out so much. I really wanted to, but that just. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know you're trying, Zach.
Yeah. We'll get it eventually.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Meanwhile,
Okay.
Actually, let's where did I put? Does anyone have a question that they have for today's break?
You have a choice of one of 3 superpowers of your choosing, or give me your top 3 favorite abilities.
I will leave that for you guys to answer. I will be right back.
I don't know. For me, time or controlling the flow of time, super speed, and mind control are my 3.
Why mind control? Huh?
Because maybe I have a darker side.
You
Some
don't know.
people are dumbasses and can't think for themselves.
That too.
I love the narrator voice so much. It's so good.
I'm Morgan Freeman. Sorry, I'm making
No,
food.
I'm Morgan Freeman.
Morgan. Better get busy, shouldn't? Get busy crying. Morgan.
Ow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What? No, I'm talking to my brother. But yeah, what powers would you guys have in your top 3?
Firebending, of course. That I never use because I am outcast from my people and I don't want them to know about it.
Ice bending, of course.
I mean, I don't want to be an earthbender. Like, not in real. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be Avatar. It can be any powers from any form of media.
I'll be back.
I'll forego the having 3 choices just so I can have flying.
Oh, you
I'm
just.
gonna go
That's
check
very
up on
simple, and I
dinner
love
real
it.
quick.
You're gonna what?
I like
Go check up on dinner.
Okay. What do
I
you
like
what-
gravity control. Like
Oh,
just the
gravity
ability to
controls.
like make things heavier or lighter, because then you get a lot of other things.
Oh, that sounds actually pretty cool.
Or the ability to make nothing happen.
That is absolutely an Omega level ability. Like that is untapped potential in most medias. Just shut down.
How are you alive? He shot you. Yeah, he shot me, but nothing happened. What? Yeah. I saw the bullet hit your body. Yeah, but nothing happened. Like, the wound is bleeding. Yeah, but nothing happened.
To get your heart, it looks like it's right over your heart. I think it might have. It's very painful. How are you not passing out from the pain? Well, I feel the pain, but nothing's happening. I don't think that's me, though. I think that's just pain.
What are you? I don't know.
I still love my reactive avatar. Just bam, 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 bam.
See, one of my favorite abilities has always been one that I actually have in real life. I have the ability to control dragons.
Well, I mean, we can't technically prove you wrong.
Exactly.
Welcome back to this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want the superpower to be Morgan Freeman.
Well, you're gonna have to kill the Chiron to become the next one. And that's me.
There can only be one.
There can only be one Freeman.
It's like an Animorph, but you turn into Morgan Freeman.
All right. So what was the question again, Brent?
Sorry.
Top 3 powers. It doesn't have to be Avatar. It can be superheroes or I don't know. Powers, superpowers. Powers above the human norm.
I want Piccolo's clothes beam.
That is very it has high utility.
big
That way,
green
when
dred.
it's winter and I'm driving down the street and see all these prostitutes on Aurora with like absolutely nothing on, I could just be like, "Clothes beam." Now you're not gonna get sick.
Is that Gucci? And just as you drive away, Daddy takes care of you.
You really tell what kind of a person I am when I walk down the street and look at the prostitutes and say, "Put on more clothes. What is wrong with you?"
Oh yeah, no, dude, it could be snowing and they'd be out in high heels and shit.
It's ridiculous.
What do we call that? There's a specific phrase for feeling someone else's pain to such a high intensity, and and it's not so much like they're in pain or whatever, but it's like you can imagine yourself being that uncomfortable.
Empathy. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was another phrase for it that like the intensity and the more intense version of it.
Psychotic?
What? No, that's the opposite. No, anyway, but yeah. It's essentially a more intense empathy. It's like, because I have, that ability to be like, hey, I could just imagine myself being out there.
Wow, that really sucks. And I can imagine what it would do to me if it was happening to me. Sorry for your loss, I guess.
Hope you don't freeze to death. Vroom. Anyway. So I'm on Twitch. I'm on the stream, and I'm looking down at recommended channels.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to shout anyone out with this, but the names are just funny. Like one of them was Knob Twiddler, and the other one is Papa Thickums. And I don't know. I might check that out later. Because I'm curious.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well, he's playing Jackbox Party Pack. I'm ready to get back into it if you guys are. Oh, actually, no. I need to get some water.
Man.
I know, right?
I'm actually making food.
So I'm gonna assume we're gonna need a few more minutes then to finish making stuff.
I mean, you can go ahead. I don't know if I'm gonna have much to say here, but I will do my best.
And if Shang was smart, he'd keep his mouth shut.
Well, we'll have to see how this goes.
All right. I'm ready.
Gia has to keep her mouth shut because she's not smart.
I wouldn't say she's not smart. She's just driven.
No, like she doesn't have a very high intelligence stat.
Tell me, do you have negatives to it?
I think I'm away from my computer right now. It's right this very second.
Oh, you have a computer.
No, but you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. Oh, I actually got excited.
I'm sorry.
You said 2 intelligence for Gia? No, you don't have a negative.
Yeah, I think I just broke even.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what it looks like.
I have a -1.
Alright. Well, I I need to grab the narrator voice.
Yay.
Alright, is everyone good to go?
I have food in the microwave, so I'm gonna leave it a minute, but I'll be back. I'm still
Okay.
here.
Okay. So let me.
Ready when you are, Capitan.
Oh, I am turning off some music. Alright, chat, we will catch you later. That.
Wrong button.
sure I have these all set. Okay. All right. So, as I said, this man looks up from his clipboard and looks at you all, giving you kind of a glancing from side to side. First off, what order are you guys wanting to stand in? Going from left to right.
Brutus would probably want to be in the middle.
Okay.
I will be to his right, but like behind him, almost kind of.
Okay.
I'm kind of to
he's a
the
big, strong man.
Rinzu's in the middle.
I'm kind of to the back and to the side with Naga.
Okay. Brutus and Renzu, you guys have to be staying side by side then.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay. Pre.
And I guess I will be to the left of Renzu.
Ooh, there goes my thing.
And then Gia, you were back into the side with Naga, I'm assuming.
That is correct.
Okay. I'm gonna put you on Pre's left. Then.
So sounds good. Whatever this hallway accommodates.
Well, you guys, there's enough space for you guys to stand side by side. This is like it's a massive room. It's like a ballroom. All right. God damn it! Stop flipping that. All right. Everyone all good to go? Everyone set?
Mm-hmm.
People got your... Do you guys all drink your legs and walk your waters?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So he looks up at you and he begins to say,
It has come to my attention that a financial slip have been brought to one of the reports.
Can you say that slower?
I return.
It has come to my attention that a financial ship has been brought to one of the reports.
and he brings out a scroll, but doesn't open it.
The crew that left this ship have been lowered to enter the city under the watch of a lower district guard. Now, before we begin, is there anything you want to tell me?
And he looks from side to side at all of you.
May I ask how your men handled the troll? It's been bugging me for a while now.
Troll.
The one that was on the bottom deck.
Ah, yes. Right. It seems to have turned to stone as you're retrieving it from the ship.
Sorry, what?
It seems to have turned to stone as we retrieved it from the ship.
Turned to stone.
Yep, they pulled it out during the day.
Does anyone else like hear? Like it sounds like he's not. The AI can't comprehend using his lips properly when it's talking.
That is right about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Right,
It sounds like
Let me just use my voice then. Okay.
fresh out of the dentist.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly that.
Okay.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, so I'll have to work on that then.
So Brutus just goes,
So they pulled it out during the day. And well, this feels like one of those things where it's like, so are you gonna tell me, or are we gonna push this further? It's like I know. Now let me know what you know. Kind of. Brutus is just gonna straight up tell him.
Okay, what are you gonna tell him?
Oh god, I've already. What is it? Chen?
Yep.
General. Wait, is he what rank?
He's a general. Or I thought he was made general, I think.
You probably won't believe me if I told you, but it's General Chen's ship. We hijacked it from the port after dispatching some of the Fire Nation soldiers that started to attack it.
And you bring it here.
Yeah, not the smartest idea.
So forgive me. Doros is what is he? He's the captain of the guard.
He's the captain of the lower ring captain of the guard.
What was his importance for being here again?
He was the one that you guys told about the incoming attack.
If I may.
Oh, please.
We had an encounter with a Fire Nation camp over around, what was the name of that village again?
Was it the Abbey?
Yeah, somewhere around there. We are pretty capable fighters. I don't know if you can tell by looking at all my friends here. We rescued the good captain from that camp when we took it out. And, well, he needed to get back here as soon as possible. So we did that.
Even broke him away from his honeymoon.
Shame.
Fuck this guy. Sorry.
We did our best to get him here with vital military information post haste. I don't know if we could have done much better.
Ah, yes, the incoming attack from the Fire Nation. You're a little late for that one. But either way, the security of the city is my main concern. We will dispatch some of my daily agents to speak to Doris and prepare for another attack, if so be it. Sorry, where are my manners? I am Longfang, the Grand Secretariat of Ba Sing Se and the personal advisor to the Earth King.
Brutus bows.
Brutus from Amashu.
Amashu.
A few
Boomy's
complications.
still in charge?
Oh, sorry, who?
Is Boomy still in charge?
Boomy is still. How old would he be at this point?
Oh dear God!
Might as well ask a name for an NPC.
Brutus begins to say his age out loud, and it on everyone else's ears, it just sounds like celestial. No, no, he
The last time I was in town, he seemed to be in great health.
Hmm.
That man
You see him
astounds me.
look at his clipboard and just take a quick note. So if there's nothing else you want to bring up, then let me go over what I know. You come to the city with an enemy ship, carrying 3 unknown creatures on it, and like I said, one turned to stone as we were taking it off the ship. You also had a young serpent latched to the side of your ship. Is that correct?
Would you like an in detail recount of that event?
It's a good hunt. I just say beaming.
Brutus wasn't being sarcastic, by the way. That was a genuine question.
Why don't you enlighten me on what happened?
We're making our way through the canal, doing our best to get here as quick as possible. It was around what, midday? Not evening when it attacked us, or was it at night? I'm trying to remember.
It was like afternoon.
No, it was sometime in the afternoon when we spotted a giant shadow beneath us. This thing must have been hungry or just hateful, and it attacked us. We had to do what we could to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Gia's idea, I think, to tie it to the side.
Gia's just gonna look, spread her arms. You should have seen it. It was a serpent this big.
I've seen bigger.
Shut up, Brute.
I
I almost said Renzu.
Oh, I thought you were saying Brutus.
What I do?
Nothing.
Sorry, Chavez.
Good.
And that's the detail Brutus gives. And I guess Gia as well.
Okay. And you see him write down a few more notes on his clipboard. Well, there's nothing else missing from this report. He takes his hand and he waves it in front towards the door. And 2 daily agents open up the door, and in come a familiar face to Gia and Pri. If you could roll me a history check.
Uh-oh. Or yay? I don't know.
Sorry. Thing turned off. L'histoire.
No, I just needed Pri to do it.
Oh, okay. 15.
17.
17. Okay.
Is it Lee?
No, it's not Lee. In comes a younger, well, actually, probably about your guys' age, woman who Pri and Gia, Pri, you've been in class with her every once in a while when you actually went to study inside the capital. And Gia, this is one of your old friends from the Water Nation. You would know her as Maggie.
Maggie?
She walks through the main doors to the hallway. She's got a blue and white Northern Water Tribe outfit on. She's got a pouch of what looks to be like vials and syringes or a style of stuff on her hip. She comes in, she looks at you, has the look of joy, but also almost like she's wondering what the hell on her face.
Maggie?
And she comes to the center of the room, or she comes next to you guys and looks up at Longfang, and you hear another set of feet coming in just shortly behind her as Gia, you would definitely recognize this man. As Han walks in behind her.
What? Han, what are you?
He looks at all of you, smirks a little bit, and his eyes stop on you for a little bit longer. You want to give me an insight?
I would love to.
Okay.
So scared.
22. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You get the impression that he was under the idea that you might have been dead, and he's now trying to figure out what the hell is going on. There's a little bit of bitterness behind it, but you can't quite tell what that is without him saying stuff.
Gotcha.
Who is this guy?
Han?
For those of you that don't know, actually, do I have to say it right now? Can I leave it a kind of a mystery?
No, I'll leave that up to you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll give a little bit of history for it. He is part of the Water Nation forces. He's like one of their, not necessarily leaders, but like leader in training for like their army. You guys wouldn't actually know that, being as how Northern Water Tribe is actually very secluded. So you guys get that above game.
I'm just gonna look back and forth from him to the secretary and then back to Han, and I'll be like, I don't understand. What are you doing this far south?
Maggie turns to you and says, "We'll explain when we're done." Longfang turns the. Well, Longfang addresses all of you as a group. Is to have come here asking for help on behalf of the Northern Water Tribe in this so-called spirit event. And from
so you know about that?
As we do. Son of a bitch, hang on. Give me 1 second. I got a train coming by.
Those carts can be. I was gonna say those carts can be kind of loud, can't they?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how you live like this. It's very distracting.
With our heads up and our feet on solid ground. You gotta be sturdy. Sound of both mind and body.
Alright, it should be far enough now. Sorry about that. God, son of a. Go away. Okay. Alright, where was I? Right. And from what these two have told me, that one of their citizens bore witness to this event.
Yeah,
correct?
that was me. I watched the attack on the Spirit Gate.
So you're Gia.
Gia of the Northern Water Tribe, yes.
And he writes down a few more notes. Okay. What can you tell me about that then? Because from what we've gathered here, this is nothing but more than a fairy tale. Enlighten me.
Well, in the briefest of terms, the Fire Nation attacked the Northern Water Tribe the day of that earthquake. Not moments before, actually.
Isn't the Northern Water Tribe renowned for being very elusive and staying out of this war?
That is correct, sir. And we were hit pretty hard and pretty fast. We weren't really expecting an attack. They came in their ironclad ships and they managed to set fire to our ice, sir.
Hmm.
Well, being on our own home field, we didn't take very long to repel the attack. We managed to capture no small number of their own Fire Nation soldiers for interrogation and hostages. They managed to get away with about Han, Maggie, you can confirm this number. I believe it was 20 of our people or so.
Something like that. It was most of our soldiers that they took. And
Yeah.
some of our healers.
Han and I had followed an advanced party, a group of Fire Nation that wandered further into the frozen tundra, led by, I believe, was it Admiral Zhao or is it General Zhao?
General Zhao.
Yeah, by General Zhao of the Fire Nation.
Really?
Yeah, we managed to capture a few more of his soldiers, but once he entered the above game, are we allowed to talk about the Spirit Woods? I don't know if that's like a national secret or something.
You could talk about it, but very few people actually know that it's there. Like, very few people worldwide know that it's there.
I sort of look to Han and Maggie for like kind of reassurance here.
Maggie just kind of shrugs her shoulders. She wasn't there. Han just gives you this look of I could care less.
Just kind of roll my eyes at that. With all due respect, sir, there is a Water Tribe national secret.
Don't tell him anything. It's not his place, says Han as he quickly looks at you.
A certain connection to the spirit world. I don't want to say any more than that. Fire Nation was foolish enough to try and attack it. Well, caused a global earthquake. You felt it all the way from here. Tell me, are there any earthbenders you've ever heard of that can do something like that?
On that scale, no.
Then you understand how big something like that is. How much force, how much energy.
Well, from what I gathered, it doesn't have any repercussions on the city, so it's not our problem.
That's not entirely true, sir. Since the attack on the spirit world, there have been, what would you call it, guys? A bleeding over?
It's like seems like more of a hole in a dam, honestly.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily the best person to describe it, sir, but I watched spirit world creatures fly from that link. as I was flung out across the tundra. And well, I've traveled from the Northern Water Tribe all the way here ever since. And everywhere that we've gone, with my friends here and we've seen more spirits. It seems they really can't get away from them. And yeah, we've encountered a few here in the city as well.
He just stares at you, looks down at his clipboard, write a few more notes down, stares back up at you. So it's your fault that this has happened.
Absolutely not. It's, as usual, it's the Fire Nation's fault. Meddling in things they ought not to have, trying to conquer the world. They weren't content with their little island.
And it was the Water Nation's job to protect this. How'd you phrase it? The spirit connection or something?
Sort of glared at him. Let's say the Fire Nation attacks your mighty wall out there, sir, and the rubber falls on hundreds, thousands of your innocent people. Is that your fault or theirs?
It's theirs, but they didn't. If that's all they did, they didn't get anything greater than that. What happens here isn't a global event. From what you've told me, the mishaps that happened up there are falling onto your shoulders for letting it happen.
I'm not going to defend my nation when they're the ones who are victimized by the Fire Nation's crimes. If that's how you feel about the situation, then why are we even here at all? Why are you trying to help us?
Who said we were helping you?
Brutus goes wide-eyed.
Then what do you want?
To determine if you're a threat while here in Bossing Say, and if we need to lock you up or to kick you out.
From the moment of the quake to this moment now, we've done nothing but help people and try to stay away from the Fire Nation. Plain and simple, sir.
Seems like the only thing we've done here while we've been in town is get to the bottom of a crime syndicate stealing things off of people. And as far as that ship goes, should be more of a boon to you instead of something to pin on us. Now you have insight into how their ships work. You're welcome.
Be it as it may, you still brought it to one of our ports. Now, I don't know how the Fire Nation does it, but when an enemy ship comes in the way that you did, we care less if it's enemy or friendly. It's still an enemy ship. It's going to either go down or be taken away and studied.
Listen, man, look at us. Just a couple of kids, man. How could we have come up with some devious plot to take down a city? You're thinking too hard into this.
Shang, roll me a persuasion.
Okay. Oof.
Don't forget your reroll.
Yes! That thing. Fuck. Can I get advantage because we're all trying to convince this guy?
I'll give it to you for that one.
Yay! Natural 20.
Ah, yes, an erect 20.
Dear
That's
God.
an erect 21. 21.
Jesus.
Fine. I'll take into account that you are children. And he raises his hand and gestures for the guards to come in. That's all I need from you today. I'll bring this to the council. Figure out what to do with you later. But for now, you may leave.
Whatever.
Brutus
Shang
just says,
just turns to the door and leaves.
Brutus bows and just says, "Thank you for your time." And he walks out the door.
Mm-hmm. The guards come, escort the rest of you out, followed with Maggie and Han, and the doors close behind you. Well, sorry, Maggie speaks up. Well, that could have gone better. Gia, it's so good to see you. And she goes in for a hug.
I hug her back.
And is that Pre? She goes in to give you a hug as well.
Hi, what are you doing all the way out here?
The elder sent Mahan and I on their behalf to try and get any soldiers from Bossing City to help us out guarding guarding the north. I don't know what it is, but Han hasn't told me much. Han just stands there with his arms crossed and just glaring at you, Gia. I'm gonna put.
You don't seem to be very receptive of that at the time.
No, that's too much.
I'm not looking over at Han, by the way.
Guy sounds like an asshole.
Han speaks up. Have your girl time. I'm gonna leave. Maggie, meet me back at the ships when you're done. And he takes off down the hallway.
How many ships are in?
It's just ours. They wanted to send more, but they were only able to fix up so many after the attack.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to find working vessels.
Yeah. What have you been up to? I heard that you were dead.
No, quite alive, unfortunately. I'm looking for Noah and the rest of our people.
Oh. Any luck?
Sort of. I thought they might have been taken here during the attack on Ba Sing Se, but I feel like the trail's getting kind of cold. I'm getting a little antsy. Thankfully, I've had plenty to distract me, and Pree's been taking, she's been a huge comfort here as a friend, but I really want to get back to finding Noah.
Yeah. Well, if he's with the rest of the men, he should be okay, but I don't know. I don't know how the Fire Nation works.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine.
Well, who do you have with you?
Oh, right. Well, I guess I'll introduce you. This big guy here is Brutus of Omashu.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And this is Shang. He's actually pretty handy in a fight. He's a good guy.
Hey,
Thank you for protecting Gia. Although I saw the aftermath of the holding cell. They sent us in to help heal some people. Was that you?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Deception.
Okay. Deception. Is it the only D? It's a 7.
Whatever you say, Gia.
And last but certainly not least, over here is my buddy Renzu. He's actually a really great guy. He's a traveler I met along the road. He saved me when I landed here.
Crash landed. Finger guns. No, seriously. She crashed a boat.
Yeah, no.
You crashed one of our boats?
I was saying, listen, I had already spent the better part of 24 hours both simultaneously capturing and healing people. I had been running on maybe 4 hours of sleep, and I did also get a few laps in swimming after a Fire Nation ship.
Gia under bus.
Gia will remember this.
Huh.
Excuse me, I have to get up off the floor.
It's at this point the guards are kind of ushering you guys to the main gate. They seem to want you out of the building or out of the palace.
Mm-hmm.
So how did all of you meet? I get Renzu, and I didn't know that Pri was with you when you left.
Well, I never really did get a clear image of what happened with you. You got captured after the attack, right? Pri?
Zach? Oh, did we lose him?
Is he mudded?
Zach? Uh-oh. Did we lose Zach?
Zach?
Dun 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 dun.
Isn't this the time he normally eats?
Yeah, but you should say something. Leave.
He might have himself muted on his end. Since we're not getting anything from Zach right now. Okay, we'll move
Weird.
on for right now.
Okay. Yeah, so we managed to I intercepted a few Fire Nation folks that had I guess captured Pri along with some of the others, and we managed to rescue her from one of their caravans.
Really?
Yeah, stole one of their wagons.
Oh, wow. Do you have that wagon still?
Yeah.
Or Zach, you
Yeah,
back?
that was a little unfortunate.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like,
Go for it.
yeah, it's crazy. If we hadn't decided to like look through that wagon, I might have never seen you in there. Just be tied up in a wagon still.
Well, thanks for that. And she kind of scoffs at Jeff.
Just kind of elbow her a little bit.
And what about you, big guy? She's gesturing to Brutus. You. Where'd
Sorry,
you get? Huh?
You cut out.
Oh, she's gesturing to Brutus. What about you? Were you there too?
Oh, during the
Just that first encounter you guys had with the Fire Nation.
Oh! Yeah, I was stopping some of the Fire Nation soldiers from trying to take people.
Oh no, sorry. The as a group, the caravan.
When we rescued Pri.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm sorry, my brain just totally shat hard. Can someone help me out here, please?
It was the fight between the Fire Nation and the Gnolls.
Oh! Spirits.
Fair enough.
Yeah, a lot of them. It's where I met. Or it's Please, just skip past me. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, at this point, you guys are now outside of the palace, slowly making your way down the stairs. Well, I should probably get back to Han. As you might know, yeah, he gets a little temperamental.
Yeah, I think I'm still required to stay with the good captain and his wife. I don't know how the Earth Nation works here.
I'm not sure either, but we're down by the docks, but with one of our ships. If you want to come by and hang out or chat or catch up or whatever.
Absolutely. It was good seeing you again, Maggie.
Nice to see you too. Bye, everyone.
I hug her.
She goes for
Nice meeting you.
You too.
Bye.
She lets go. She starts walking away. She waves behind her and makes away. She doesn't take the train. She takes one of the pathways down to the city. And Maggie is now out of sight, and floor is your guys's. I should do with that as you will.
Now what?
I guess we go back to see Willow.
Or maybe we could check to see, I don't know if the Quickling made any progress with his people.
Didn't you want to go back and check the place where you guys were attacked?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's see if we can figure out anything.
Alright. So you guys are going back towards, not to the spa, but the area the spa was in?
Yeah, I guess.
Unless anyone has objections and has a better idea.
Nope.
Okay. All right, so you guys head back down to the train, hop on it, and you take it 2 stops away. Takes you about a half hour. And you get off the train. Someone give me a survival check.
That will be me.
You have points in survival.
I do. Now, if Roll20 would work with me, please. I have proficiency in it. 16.
Okay.
That could have been better game.
So, having only been there once, you don't remember exactly what building it was a part of, but you remember like the general layout of what was around the spot and like where you think things started to go missing, at least as far as your vials go.
Mm-hmm.
There are people all around you. It is. You guys were only at the palace for like an hour after the meeting had started. Let me change it up. So what are you guys looking for?
Signs of... Okay, the Quickling said that they took the, all the, I'm just going to call it loot into, you said holes and stuff, right?
For how you put it, it was, they basically grabbed things, found a hole, put it in it, cover the hole up.
I don't know. I'd probably be, in that case, looking around for, what is it? Just little mounds everywhere.
Okay. Well, you won't have to roll for this one, but you do look around, and they're not really like mounds, but there's like, it looks like some dirt's been pushed over here. It looks like a rock's been moved here. Like, there are signs that things have been moved around, but that could also be because there are frequent amount of people that walk through here, so it could have just been like pushed to the side by someone's shoe.
Damn, that with the 16? Any sort of indentations?
Not on the main streets.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna spend my time looking.
All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I brought a doggle bear. I'm gonna use the doggle bear.
Okay. She's got. Oh god, it's keen smell, keen sense, I think.
I believe so.
Okay, so that is perception with, I believe, keen smell, perception with advantage for Naga. Do you want me to roll it, or do you got it? Oh,
I got it. There you go.
perception 18. All right. So you guys know what the plan is to kind of find Quickling holes. So Naga kind of leans down, smells the ground. She seems to have gotten a sense, but you can't talk to her, so you're not exactly quite sure 100% what it is, but it seems to be putting you guys in like the back alleys and like away from the main roads.
Got the scent there, girl?
She gives you a look of like, I don't know, but like, maybe. That look a dog does where it tilts its head and it just looks like but she does make her way into one of the back alleys, and she starts to sniff the ground very fiercely. Doesn't seem like she's picking up the scent of like regular people.
Oh, I think Naga might have something, guys.
Follow the polar dog.
Okay.
Oh, the pupper.
Dog burr.
All right, so you guys follow the dog. Are you guys all following, or are you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys all follow the dog. It takes you a few minutes because like you go around one building, and then stops, and then she looks side to side, and she walks around another building, and she stops, and she goes back down the alley that you guys just came from, and stops. She looks up at the roofs. Can't. Being that she's a big dog, she can't really get onto the roofs, but she looks up, sniffs the air, looks back down, and you guys are now in that alley that Shang and Brutus would probably recognize this alley. You guys, this is the alley that you guys fought. Not say fought. You guys chased down the one Quickling.
Yeah.
Everyone give me perception checks.
Perception. Brutus got an 18.
7.
$11.
Class of 20.
Damn.
Okay. I need up.
Question: do you want me to do one for me or Naga?
This is all for you, as character. Okay. 14. Okay. Let's see. No, 13. All right.
Boy. Boy.
So. Oh. Let's go in order of 3 first. Free, you get the feeling that something's missing. And you go and you pat yourself down and you look around and your spirit dagger is missing.
Oh no.
What's wrong?
What happened?
My dagger. It's missing.
Let's see.
Gia just lets out this like little smile, like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Okay, I'm not gonna be a dick about that. Renzu, your fire flakes are missing.
No!
It could have been worse.
Why would they steal from him, though? Those weren't spirit world items. Or are they?
I never said that they were stealing spirit world items. Let's see, who else got? Brutus, you go and check, sorry, Brutus and Shane, you guys check yourselves and look over your shoulders, and you don't seem to be missing anything.
Yay.
Let's see. Dear God. Okay. Gia, your. God, where'd it go? Your Fire Nation dagger is missing.
You know that anime girl face that they get when like you say something and she's like, "Oh, I'm about to kill this bitch." That's the look that Gia has right now.
So this was just a perception check to notice that something was taken.
Yes.
Well, what about the perception check to notice them taking something?
You can give me another perception check to see if you notice anything.
Well, it's clearly already happened. There's
Yep.
no point in trying to perceive it now.
You could roll perception to see if you see anything running around.
It's just weird to me that that's how the order of this is going. 19.
Okay.
Well, I think they're so stealthy that even like something like an 18 or a 19 doesn't catch them in the act of stealing stuff.
I rolled a 20.
All right. This actually kind of makes sense. Pre, you weren't there for the last one, so you wouldn't know what to really look for. Shang, you and Brutus just went through this song and dance yesterday. You look around, and sure enough, off in the distance, you do see another blur. Sorry, I'm writing down notes quickly. But so the blur doesn't seem to be running from rooftop to rooftop. It looks like it's running in a straight line towards like a wall.
I'm gonna shoot at it with my longbow.
Okay.
Your longbow is missing.
Go
Your
ahead
hands are
and
missing.
roll the hit.
22.
Jesus. Yeah, that'll hit. Damage. All right.
Ignore the 6.
Fair. All right, so you pull out an arrow and you fire at this thing. Even with its distance and its speed, you still catch it in its legs. I mean, it's still far away, but it looks like it's stopped and it rolls off the roof.
I'm gonna hop on Naga and tell her to run at it.
Okay.
Come on, girl.
Hey.
You know what to do.
Yes, my dog.
She and I bonded over this, okay?
No, you're good.
She's cheating on you with other people.
Okay, you didn't have to go that far.
Alright, so you take off. Sorry, in the last minute. You take off in the direction of this Quickling, and after a few moments, you and Naga come across a Quickling with an arrow in its legs, and looks like it's slowly crawling in the direction of the wall.
Yep, I'm gonna pick it up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get back on Naga and go back to the other crew, or return to the crew.
Okay. You do so. You make it back. The rest of the crew. Well, where are you holding this Quickling? Are you like holding it in front of you in your arms? You just throw it in a bag.
It's like a football squeeze.
Okay. So you make it back to the crew, and you guys all see Shang holding this silvery blue-haired thing. You can't quite make it out, but in that football hold.
I'm getting tired of this.
I'm gonna search it for our stuff.
Okay.
Like I hold it up, put it on its, hold it by its legs, and just kind of dangle it and see if our stuff falls out.
Okay. Give me one moment to roll a few things.
Just walk up and start patting Naga. Nice reflexes, Shang.
Yeah, we've done the song and dance before. Kind of give her a pat.
All right. So you flip it over. I imagine you're holding it by like the ankles and
Yep, just shaking it vigorously.
Violently shaking it, trying to get everything knocked loose.
Yeah.
All right, so you do so, and this thing's arms are just flailing underneath it, and out falls a small bag of Rinzu's fire flakes.
Ooh.
Uh, 6 gold pieces.
And my vial?
Nope.
No.
A small. In your guys' hands, it looks like it would be classified as a short sword. Or I think that's what they have.
Is it its sword?
Oh, dagger. Yeah, it's sword. So it's dagger in your guys' hands.
Looks like it was going towards that wall. Point at it.
So I don't mean to break the immersion, but Brent, you remember our stupid thing of daytime, nighttime? There's a point in this audio. There's a point in this audio where there's someone in the background that sounds like they're saying daytime. Okay, so the dagger drops out. It doesn't look like either one of your guys' daggers. This just looks like a standard steel dagger.
At least we got the fire flakes back.
I've got plenty of these things. Gia, do you want to carry this?
I mean, I guess I'll take it. I seem to have lost my knife. Glare at the thing.
Seems like these things haven't learned their lesson from the last one we took.
I would say not, Pri. What do you think we should do about that?
Bring on the drownings.
Jesus Christ.
Go somewhere private and I can burn it to death.
You're just instigating the queen of interrogations.
It's amusing to watch.
This Quickling just sitting there wiggling as best as it can. It's held upside down, so it doesn't really have a whole lot of places it can go, but it's moving as much as it can.
Like, I imagine it's moving, like, I'm picturing, like, one of those punching bags that people punch for, like, training. I imagine it's doing that without the punching.
Pretty much.
Have you... I take it you don't know our buddy Popsicle?
Great. Now I have to go find some more tea.
Yeah, we should like really walk around with like a little jug, a little gourd of it or something, shouldn't we?
I'm just gonna smack it across the face. Talk slower, damn it!
Now,
roll me an intimidation with advantage.
9, damn it.
Reroll?
Use a
No, you don't
reroll
have
for
any more.
something more important. I have two. Oh well, yeah. One's for you guys, or can I
Yeah.
still use it for me?
What would the check be to see if it's the same Quickling that we encountered the last time?
Oh, that's a good point.
Investigation?
Oh my god. Knowing this campaign.
Investigation
Nature.
or I kind of want to say insight.
Insight.
Or for racism. Oh, you Quicklings look the same.
Yeah.
Sounds wrong, doesn't it?
Insight, although I don't have the greatest value for that. We already know it's a spirit, so no to Arcana. You think Insight might be more appropriate?
Yeah, I'm thinking insight.
Okay. Damn it.
Hey, 9, buddy.
I mean, it could be the same Quickling, but you don't know how many Quicklings are here, so the likelihood of it being the same Quickling aren't necessarily high, but still a possibility. He doesn't feel cold.
Mm. Maybe the one we encountered yesterday, or maybe the one we had yesterday didn't get a chance to tell of his buddies yet. I wonder.
With how fast they move, I doubt it. He just didn't want to.
Are you suggesting, Free, that they haven't heard about me yet?
She kind of looks over to Gia.
Because I think he might need to find out.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna turn him into a popsicle.
Okay.
I have 5 gallons of water on me at all times.
Dear God. Okay, so you.
What about the ambient water nearby?
He's restrained, and I don't know that he's needs to make a save or anything like that. I think he just becomes a popsicle.
No, he's already being restrained by Shang. I would have you roll if he wasn't, but I'm just gonna let it happen because yeah. So sorry, I say he. It's a Quickling popsicle.
I wonder if it tastes like dirtbag.
I don't know. Let's ask Naga. Naga, do you think this guy tastes like anything?
Just put it in her mouth. Feel free to actually bite down this time.
God, it got so cold. Why?
Oh shoot, that actually worked. I said shoot. Everyone heard it. I actually look at everyone in character. I said shoot.
Uh-huh.
Unlikely story. No.
Blushes. Hi, bud.
Why?
This is the second time one of your people tried to steal from us and then got caught. I think you should learn better by now.
Who are you?
Someone who can make things very difficult.
There.
I'm going to you're still holding him by the ankle, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn his head towards me as he's dangling, and I'm gonna come eye to eye to him, and I'm gonna smile. I'm like, "Hi, Gia, Northern Water Tribe. You and your people don't steal from humans anymore."
Since when?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you tell me, bud? And I make him a little colder.
Oh, good. It feels like in my liver. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I know where that is. I just like make his liver tingle with healing waterbending.
Okay, well, that's weird.
I've never considered doing that before. Thanks for the tip.
What have I done? What do you want?
Where were you crawling to?
The, the wall?
Yeah. What about it?
I was crawling to the wall. Where I was going?
What's
Insight?
So,
Oh, go ahead.
what's so special about this wall? And can we both do an insight at the same time?
Sure. I'll let you guys both roll, or one rolls with advantage.
I'll let you roll with advantage. I'm just providing like bad cop.
Okay.
Except there's 2 bad cops right there.
Advantage says 15.
Sorry. What was your question?
What's so special about the wall?
I mean, so when you ask that, his eyes dart back and forth, and he looks at you, he looks back at G, he looks at you, looks up at Shang, looks back at Gia, looks over at you.
It's where I've been hiding things?
When you were shot with the arrow, you weren't wincing in pain. You were still crawling towards it, meaning that it is very important that there's something else there other than just the wall. Do you mind telling us what's there?
I mean, the wall's where we all go. So there's probably more than just my stuff there. Or what I've taken. Sorry, it is really cold. Can you not make me so cold, please?
No. You're gonna take us to where you put your stuff. Maybe then we'll consider making you not as cold.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Go that way.
Okay. I'm gonna have him lead us there.
Alright. So, you guys... Well... You guys follow, or... I wouldn't necessarily want to say following the Quickling, but like have him guiding you. I would imagine you're like... The way I'm imagining this is you're holding him out by like the ankle still with ice around him, and he's just pointing his head like, go that way. Okay, now go that way.
Yep.
Can I insight him? To
Sure,
make sure
what are
he's
you
going in the
inciting?
proper direction?
I'll just make sure that he's not getting you guys lost.
Yeah.
Not leading us astray.
You won't even have to insight. Like the wall, it's a big wall. He's pointing you guys are heading to the wall. Kind of hard to miss that one.
Just making sure.
Just freaking this a second Quickling popsicle, just kind of frozen semi-solid. You just Shang over here. We're using him to point that way or that way. That way.
Go that way. No, the other way.
Maybe if I was the right side up, I'd know which direction I was going. I'm really confused.
Oh god, getting nauseous.
Listen, everything looks weird from down here. Can you turn me upside down? Or turn me the right way up?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. Right, now go that way. Alright, now stop. We're here.
Hammer time.
While you guys are walking around, those who want to give perception checks.
Ain't no stopping
probably
me.
good.
9.
12.
I'd say Shang is focused on following this guy's direction.
I would hope none of them were stupid enough to pickpocket us while we were holding one of their frozen buddies. The 7.
All right.
Can I roll for Naga?
No, because she's focused on this Quickling as well.
Okay, fair enough.
This actually kind of makes sense. You guys are all... A few of you have some items that you want to get back. Rinzu, you got yours back, and you're kind of every once in a while glancing over your shoulder, like watching your backs. And you see a daily agent pass by every once in a while.
Yeah.
And
Are we concealing the Quickling at all, or are we like tucking the Quickling sickle under our jacket or anything, Shang?
Nope.
Okay.
Out for the whole world to see.
Chang is under the assumption that these guys need to get off their asses and actually do something about it.
Hey, G is here for it. I got your back, man.
Thanks, Doug. Always can.
I punch the initiative.
There's a bubble between. There's a dream bubble between like Shang and Geo where they like bones it and like fireworks go off, and in real life they just nod at each other.
Yep.
All right. So you guys get to a point in the ground or in these back alleys. You guys aren't seeing anything as far as like disturbances in the ground anywhere. Like there's no rocks that are kicked over. It doesn't look like there's any mounds. But he's very insistent on this is the spot. In front of you, there's like a small house, and like right behind it is the wall. And you're seeing the same kind of thing up and down this alleyway. There's like crates here and there. There's the odd barrel. There's the backs of houses. There's the front doors of a house. Kind of splayed out.
All right, so where's the stuff?
Right.
Right here. Right below us.
He keeps gesturing down, like directly in front of you guys. Again, it still just looks like cobblestone ground.
Brutus will begin to use his earthbending, kind of move layers of the earth aside, as to not like break anything.
Okay.
I guess mold earth to soften it, and then start digging down.
Okay. You do so. How far down do you want to
go? Shoot for maybe about 2 feet down.
Okay. Roll me a perception. Actually, no. Roll me an investigation.
Don't dig straight down.
This isn't Minecraft.
8.
And even then, I don't follow those rules.
Actually, you know what? Probably a good call here.
I'm gonna use a reroll on this.
Okay.
13.
All right. So you get about a foot or so down, and the ground itself feels like it's getting looser and not as dense, which is kind of odd for it being in the middle of a city. And you reach that last few inches of the 2 feet, and just this hole starts to appear. It doesn't start out big, just small enough to where like you could probably fit your hand into it. And go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Sorry, no, you continue.
When you look closer at it, this hole's deeper than it is, but doesn't seem to be wide.
Oh.
You can't quite see the bottom of it, although it is dark in there.
Looks like there's a small cavern underneath, or a little stowaway hole.
I grab the Quickling's head and kind of like force him to look at it. What's down there?
Our stuff.
How far does it go?
I don't know. I've never been all the way to the bottom.
So you just drop the stuff down there and
Yeah?
you don't know what becomes of it?
No? Listen, I tell you
Brutus,
more of the
why?
story. We just kind of come here and we drop stuff off and we leave.
Would it be
Why?
possible? Oh,
I don't understand. Like Gia just like throws her hands up in the air. I'm so confused.
These
Would it
guys
be
are useless. So I'm just gonna like toss him behind me.
Oh, God. Yeah, you should have done another
Back
one.
there,
That's fine.
stuck in ice back there.
is it possible that I could? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking of doing. What I want to do is widen the hole so I could fit in,
Okay.
and I want to use earthbending to make divots as I'm digging, so that if anyone wanted to follow me, they'd have a way of like using like a ladder. You know, it'd be kind of like
making a stairway.
yeah,
Chang's
exactly.
right behind you.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I'm going down, I'll look up to Shang and just say, "Hold on a second." He gets down about, I'd say 3 feet. So you have at least a place for your feet to start.
All right. How wide do you make the hole?
So the hole
Well,
is
he
just
makes
super.
it. He makes it comfortable for him. It's comfortable for all of us.
Okay.
I'll make it like maybe 1.5 of me wide
Okay.
to be able to.
He's gonna
yeah.
have a very good time going down there. So
All right. So you make a hole and you begin to go into it.
Yep.
All right. You go in and it's dark. You're only getting like what light you can get from the outside, but any further than that, it's dark.
I'll once we get far enough down, I'm gonna pop a thumb light fire.
Okay. You pop out a thumb like a hitchhiker, and you have this, and your purple flame begins to emit from it. And you can probably see. Oh God, what's the range on a torch? Isn't that
Not a bad idea.
30 feet.
Okay.
2020.
Anyone else have any torches or sticks?
So are you guys? Are all of you heading down into the hole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I bring Naga?
The hole would be too small for Naga to fit.
Should one of us maybe stay here and watch the entrance?
Might be a good idea.
Naga could watch the entrance.
I don't want him to steal my dog, Loki.
We know what happened to Appa in this place.
Appa wasn't stolen in Boston Say.
Yeah, but we know they stole him. So
Yeah, but your characters don't.
yeah, but I do. That's what matters.
Well, I'm the one
I'm
making
using
divots
that
down, so it ain't gonna be me.
I'm not using above game knowledge. I'm already paranoid. I promise.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Chang distrusts everyone, even himself.
Trust no one. Gun to
right.
the back of his head, not even yourself.
All right. Well, I'll give a holler if anything happens up here. Okay. You guys, stay safe.
You too.
So Gia is staying up with Naga, and everyone else going down, or how you guys want to do this?
Yep.
All right. All right. What's your guys' marching order as you go inside?
What you mean once we reach the bottom?
Well, once you guys get inside, you don't know where the bottom's at.
Oh, Brutus and Chang went first.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's me first making the divots and everything to help people with their climbing.
Renzo will go next.
I thought Shang was going in
Yeah,
after.
so Brutus, Shang, Renzu, and Pri. That's the order.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you guys descend into the cavern or into the hole, you guys are now no longer within eyesight or of Gia. You guys can still make out the sounds of the city, but you look further and inwards as well as far as you can, and it seems like this hole leads into a bigger cavern that goes on for who knows. And it gets
Seemed kind of familiar.
possibly.
No, from Luke's campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, in Luke's campaign, we were in a magical ship.
We all have.
We're in a magical ship.
Friendship.
God.
I'm sorry.
Disadvantage on your next rolls. So you guys go further and further in, and it gets to the point where you guys can't hear the outside world at all.
This goes really deep.
Yeah, it does.
No, I don't like this.
As I'm climbing down, Flicker comes skittering around my neck, seeing that it's totally dark.
Mm-mm.
And next,
would you like
next
to use
thing,
that?
Yes.
Okay.
Next thing I know,
go for it.
Light is emitting from Flicker, like certain patterns all along his fur. Its fur. About the same strength as a torch.
A little less. The range on that is 15
less.
feet.
Okay.
That's still pretty good, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, buddy. Is it too dark for you?
Murph.
Hey, I didn't know you could do that.
No.
Flicker just looks down, looks at himself, looks up at you, licks you on the face, and looks back down the
Licks
long,
its
dark
eyeball.
corridor. What was that, Mike?
No, licks his eyeball. Looks looks down the hall.
Oh, I need to remove the traumatized Quickling from my inventory.
Oh, hey, I 25 feet because you have gone past the first part of that and actually in the second part of that ability.
Mm.
Yep. Forgot about that. All right. So off of Pri in the back, you got about 25 feet, and in the very front, off of Shane, you guys got about 30 feet worth of sight. So all in all, you can see 30 ahead, 25 behind. And it still keeps going.
Going down?
There is a slight decline in where you guys are walking.
Mm.
And
we're walking.
So you've gotten to the point where Brutus no longer need to use your mold earth to make a staircase, and it's starting to flatten out, but it's still going downwards.
Hmm.
I say we just slide so we move faster.
It's not at decline enough for you to slide.
If you like having your skin, I'd suggest against it.
That's no fun.
Gia, having stayed behind, give me a perception check.
Okay. And just for shits and giggles, can I go pick up the frozen Quickling?
Sure.
I just kind of get bored over here and sigh. Walk over to him.
Juggle the Quickling.
Oh, God. Why? Can you please unfreeze me?
Yeah, maybe in a little bit.
So is this one named Pop or Ice Cream? Since the other one was Popsicle?
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
What?
The duality of a D20.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's now 1.
With a nat 20
I
on
am
the
playing
other.
with.
Jesus.
I am playing with the Quickling.
Okay.
Do I get any kind of does Naga get a chance to look
Mike?
here too? She's standing guard.
Mike, should we give him the reroll since he's alone?
What's the worst that can happen? I'm good, guys.
Okay.
That's your guys' call.
I mean, this could be important.
I don't know why, but it feels like it is.
I won't meta here, but I will say you guys are in a cave.
This is true.
Well,
Let's
they
see
still,
what
still
Naga
have
gets.
one reroll left anyway, so.
Yeah, we have a reroll each.
In
Me and
that
Mike
case,
both have one each. And...
Luke,
sorry.
go ahead and roll for Naga as well.
Standing by. Sorry, I gotta kind of juggle character sheets here.
You're good.
BRB.
Oh my god, would you load, you stupid son of a bitch?
Oh dear lord.
Load.
Oh my god, my character sheet is glitching something fierce.
Do you want me to roll it?
Would you mind?
Yeah, I got it. Perception. She has advantage, so that is a 16. All right. So as you're sitting there playing with the Quickling, she goes up, she sniffs it, and she takes steps back, and her head immediately darts to the roofs above you. And she circles around and around, but her head is focused on the rooftops. And it's Naga. You don't necessarily need to roll an insight on it, but you get the feeling that you're being watched, and you look up and you're just seeing dozens of these small little heads just peering over the edges of these roofs.
What's the matter, girl? I haven't seen you like this since we were surrounded by tiger seal lions. Oh no.
And that's where we're gonna leave you for the night. Back to the cave group. You guys continue on into the cave, and you get the feeling that this cave isn't just a straight cave. It feels like it's curving here and there, and you get further and further in, and it starts to get colder. Not by much, but it drops a few degrees. And after a while, you come out to this. You've been able to kind of keep track of where the cave walls are at, and you get to the point where this cave wall stops, and it's so far away from you, you can't tell what's up. Well, you can't tell what's left and right down here.
Are we in the Avatar Underdark?
Undertar.
It's Not to the extent that Luke's got, but you guys have now made it into Bossing Say Underdark.
Gotcha.
And out in the far distance, way ahead of you, you see a shining, shimmering light. And it appears to be coming from like what you could assume is going to be the roof. And I need everyone, Luke, you could roll for you, and Naga if you want, or Naga if you want, but you for sure. Everyone roll me a dex save.
Nat 20.
12.
23.
Jesus.
Berserker Kingfoot.
That's
let
a
it-
16. Do you mind getting Naga for me again?
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
no.
you. My Xbox is being fun.
Very good. Dex save. Okay.
Uh.
All right.
She's a good girl.
So we'll start with Naga. She looks like. So first off, you guys all feel a massive, massive tremor. Not too different from one you are all familiar with. Naga looks like a dog in their first time in a car. Brutus, you're kind of sliding back and forth, but you're staying upright. Everyone else, you guys all pass. You're kind of rolling with it, almost like a roller coaster in a way.
Wee!
And as this earthquake happens, that light that you guys were seeing looks like it's moving.
What?
Anyone see what that is?
Not
I saw
very
it was a
well.
nope.
Why is it moving? Is there something else in here?
It doesn't look
Is
it.
there us?
So it's moving in a way that doesn't look like it's walking forward or anything like that. It looks like it's moving in a way that's almost like swirling. It's far enough to where it's lit in one spot and dims a little bit, and then it lights back up fully, and it's almost doing a like a circular motion. And as the earthquake stops, it stops moving.
What
I'm
is
gonna try and get closer to it. And Shang's gonna move up ahead.
All right, so you move further forward, and you come to a ledge from where you guys have been standing. You probably get about 10, 15 feet in front of you, and there's just a sheer drop off.
Whoa, okay.
And when
Drop off over here, guys.
when you went to move, some of the ground there is a little bit loose, and you hear just a rock. You hear it as it got hit fall off the edge, and you don't hear it hit for a good 15 seconds.
Ooh.
And you just hear the clang, 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 clang.
I'm gonna toss a fireball down there.
Okay, what's the
Or
range on
fire
fire?
bolt?
What's the range on fireball?
120 feet.
120 feet. Okay. Okay. You throw out a fire. Are you throwing it out in front of you or down? Like down the
Down.
hole? Down. All right. You throw a
Yep.
fireball down, and it goes, and it dissipates.
Like it hit something, or like?
No, like it reached the end of its range.
Oh shit!
Oh, damn.
Hmm.
And this thing is across this endless expanse that I'm looking at.
As far as you can tell, yeah. It's a massive cavern with a shimmering light in the center, up into the roof.
What level does Shang get the ability to fly? And can it be level 4?
No.
Dang it. I'll go back to where everyone else is at.
Okay.
Alright, well. I went up ahead a little bit. There's a drop off and it seems to go down for a very long time. I threw a fireball down there and it dissipated. However far down it goes, it's further than how far I can throw.
I mean, should we throw a torch down there and see if we can see the bottom?
Try that.
You can.
You have to-
Throw flicker.
No.
No.
God.
No.
Out of all the things we've done today, that was the evilest.
Hang on.
You're not throwing flicker.
Okay.
Throw pre with flicker.
No.
I forget, for fall damage, that's 1d6 per 10 feet?
And
Something like
this
Or the-
fireball reached 120 feet and dissipated, so there's 120 plus feet.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out what the damage die is for that. Is it a d6 or a d8 per 10 feet?
D6.
D6?
It's a d6.
Alright.
So that's already 12d6 plus change, depending on how farther down the hole goes.
Yep.
Hmm.
So no, you're not throwing pre.
Does anyone have any torches?
I have 10 torches.
Can I get one of those?
Light her up.
He's gonna like snap his fingers, like right on the torch.
Alright.
Be a badass and light the torch that way.
Oh shit, he's blazing.
Alright,
Hell
so
yeah.
you light a torch on fire. Or you light the end of the torch. I'm not going to have you completely destroy someone with a lit torch.
Yeah.
So you light it on fire. And
I'll kind of guide the crew up ahead to the drop off and make sure that they don't walk too far.
I'm not going to have you roll to stop anyone. You kind of point out, like, don't go past this point.
As more of a flavor thing than a mechanic. Like, hey,
Then
here it
use
is.
the torch.
And I'll
Right.
just kind of look over and drop it.
Alright, so you drop it. It drops. And it begins, as it goes down, the light source that you can see gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And it stops.
But we can still see it.
Just barely.
You can tell that we're kids when we're fascinated by something like this.
Can Brutus make steps all the way down?
Yeah, there was just a crazy earthquake, but check out this torch, man.
It was purple for a second. That was cool, right?
So
Yes, Brutus will be making the steps down as needed.
so above game, you're looking at about 200 feet worth of steps. Easily.
Oh god, so you're gonna have to unmake steps as you go.
Yeah.
I thought mold earth was permanent.
No, none of them are. Unless rule of cool.
Duration is up to an hour. But the
I mean, I
range-
would argue that in the Avatar world itself, they what they leave behind would stay there.
Yeah, well, yeah, unless unobstructed or destroyed, usually, yeah. But I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to make staircase going down?
Would I not be able to just shift it the other way if we have to get up the same way?
I mean, you'd have to stop like every 30 feet and shift it to do so. But I mean, it's doable.
Well, here's to hoping that we're not being chased.
Okay.
So he's gonna stick with the plan. It seems to be working so far.
All right. So you give yourself a staircase going downwards, and it takes you a little bit of time because you're not just plummeting to the bottom of it. You're probably doing this for like 10 minutes, maybe a little more.
I'm
you
guessing
finally-
you're doing like switchbacks with it.
Switchback. Wow. Sorry, it was one of my favorite
There
songs.
isn't really a way to do a switchback. This is just a sheer cliff.
Mm.
You guys would have to you have to just make a staircase coming off it and just go down, like hugging against the wall.
Yeah.
Right. So you do so. And again, it takes you several minutes, and you finally reach the bottom. And it is cold. It's kind of damp, and you're hearing the sounds of like dripping water.
Mm.
And it's still dark. I mean, it's still dark beyond your guys' light limit.
Do we still see the light at the top at the roof?
It's even smaller than it was. But from your guys' angle, it does not necessarily cast a shadow, but like, you know, when you're looking at the moon from like around a building, you kind of make out like the angle of a building. It's something like that. So looking up at it, you guys are seeing weird shapes, but all kind of in this pattern that make a curve.
Are they bones?
You can't tell unless you get close enough to actually see them.
Throw another firebolt.
Another firebolt? All right.
Yeah.
You throw a firebolt, and it goes a distance away. And just as you think it's about to dissipate, it stops as it collides with the side of something.
Does the thing it hit sound angry that I hit it?
No.
Okay.
It actually sounds like there's reverberation coming off of it.
Oh. Much better than what I thought.
Oh no, it's the drill.
It doesn't sound metallic.
We're a little early for that, aren't we?
Yeah. Just a bit.
By like years.
It wasn't illuminated enough to get a glimpse of what was over there yet.
Not from that distance. It lit up for a hot second, and you can't quite make out what it is. It looks like it could be almost like armor, but not armor, if that makes sense. Like that pattern that you'd see on like an Earth Nation soldier.
Just gonna go towards it.
All right. You guys all following?
Sorry, what was it?
Looks like armor, but
It
isn't armor.
It looks like armor, but it at the same time it's not.
Okay.
All right. So you go up to it.
Stealth?
No.
We don't need stealth. If I threw a freaking flaming ball of death at it and it didn't react, I think we're good.
No, I'm not gonna have you roll stealth. You guys just get up to it. Yeah, you get up to it. You keep the flame out in front of you, and it. Give me a.
Wait. It's a lion turtle.
Give me a Arcana check, all of you. Well, all that are in the cave.
3.
20. Flaccid 20.
Pre and Brutus.
I'm trying to. Sorry.
Yep.
What am I rolling one more time?
Arcana.
Arcana, go. That's a. Oh, that's a 1. It's not a nat 1, but it's a 1.
Okay. Pre. Did we lose him again?
Earthbending. You might be muted, Zach. Earthbending isn't magic. My grandmother tells me I can do it because I'm a good boy. Zach.
Oh my gosh.
All right, hang on one second. Nat 20. Jesus.
Wow.
All right. Well, Geared, shut up. 2, you called it. This feels like the underbelly of a massive shell. And massive shell.
I put my ear up to it. Do I hear a heartbeat or a pulse?
You put your ear up to it. You don't hear anything.
Not even the ocean.
You hear the blood pumping in your head.
That's weird.
That's what the ocean sound is from your ear. You don't hear anything.
What is that?
Let's see. Shang and Brutus. It's nothing you recognize. It's a hard surface. Got a little bit of a curve to it. And not in that way.
Can I roll for thickness?
Okay.
Guys, it's the lion turtle. Renzi puts his arms around it.
I rolled for you. You got a nat 20 on it. You and Renzu have determined that this entity that you come across is a massive shell. How massive? You guys don't know the diameters of it, but it's big enough to where this could be the thing that's in this cave. It could be big enough to where it's what made the cave.
Brutus will continue. He'll grab Shang just so that they have a light source to be able to investigate it a little more.
Okay.
Maybe he's going to be listening for breathing as well.
Okay.
Perception or investigation?
You don't even have to. You don't hear anything except for your guys' footsteps.
Is it dead?
You'll have to find out.
Next time on Avatar.
Not quite. We're almost there. We're almost at the end of the session.
I guess we should try and find the head, yeah?
Yeah, I think I saw Renzu go around the other way. Let's just keep following, or let's just keep on the path.
You wouldn't be able to go much. There's only ahead of you and back. You guys can't quite see the actual curve of this at the bottom of it. It's curving upward, but you guys can follow it on the path or on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yep. All right, so you guys venture forward, eventually following the curve of it as you're walking along the ground to what could be the front of this.
We're at the butt.
Oh, one of the openings. We'll go with that. And how do you guys want to proceed? You guys are getting close to one of the ends.
And we don't see any feet or anything.
Nope.
Hello.
Maybe its body is inside the shell.
Turtles do work like that, I think.
I knock on the
Unless-
shell.
Brutus, you knock on the shell,
I knock on the shell.
and
Hello.
you just hear the echo of your knock.
Oh, why do I have a bad feeling
And
about this?
You get the echo
don't-
from the knock from the cave and the reverb on the inside of the shell.
I don't think anyone's home.
It's empty.
And
Has anyone seen a naked lion turtle before?
you guys make it to the
No.
front of this shell,
Ugh.
and you look inside. It is hollow through and through, as far as you can tell.
Great. Now we're looking for a naked lion turtle.
And that's where we're going to end our session for tonight.
What the fuck?
Oh my god! And then
Well, so that's the end of our session for tonight.
Nice.
Go around the table here and do our outros, I guess.
sure.
Right, since you're the one that spoke up, go ahead and start us off.
You can find me when I'm not here at twitch.tv/Zedimus. Games. Off to you,
He
Luke.
plays them.
I do play them. The people have seen it.
James.
Game. Luke. Where can they
You can
find you?
You can find me fighting off a pack of quicklings and searching for a giant Mario. Right here.
Giant
Mario. What did I miss?
Well, because someone just cooped this lion turtle.
Oh.
All right, pick someone to go next.
Mike. No, Gear.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna start on you. Us.
Denied.
Twitch.tv/The Geared Golem, where I play games that I like to play. And they're fun. Join me, puns.
Get locked up in the pungeon at the Geared Golem.
Hey.
All right, pick the next person.
Blake.
Oh, do I get to go now?
Yeah.
You can find me here on Sundays at Wolfsbane 1025.
Yep.
Or on his channel at indeterminate time.
I can't do Twitch right now.
Oh.
Which leads us to Zach.
Hi.
Last
Hi.
but definitely not least.
Yes.
Twitch.tv/Zayaden101. I am not doing things on Twitch yet, but I might be soon.
And
Wow.
that leaves
And
us with.
yep.
Leaves
Yep.
us,
Go
leaves us,
ahead, Wolf.
leaves us with me. I will spend 1025. If you missed this live or in the VOD, we are not long after we're done. I'll be uploading this to YouTube, so you can catch it there. Yeah, you can find me You can find me places at Wolfsbane1025, and that is me.
Wolfsbane1025.
Yes, Wolfsbane1025. Let me say it again. The Geared Golem. All right, that is us. Thank you, everyone who joined us tonight, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Wolfsbane 1025.
Bye.
Bye.
More like Sex Bane 1025.